These colors are horrible. What color do we make Vinchester here? Does teal work? I hope this doesn't give people any issues if they're colorblind. We can maybe make Vinchester teal instead, because red and magenta is just awful. So, welcome everyone to a best of 5 elimination match. Whoever loses here is out of King of the Desert. And we have Vinchester here in the teal. Vinchester playing as the Incas. He loves the Incas. He comes in here as the favorite in my eyes. And then here in the red, we have Kasva. Kasva playing as the Britons. Kasva player was just talking about. It's such a weird spot. He put so much time into Age of Empires 2. Has upped his level. This is a big thing for him to make it into the top 16. And then right at like a really awkward time, AB4 came out and he put time into that. Everyone, if you're trying to be full-time, you know, if you want to make some money to support yourself, support your family, or support your salmon addiction, you know, you want to follow the big tourneys, especially if you really love the new game. And so he's dropped off a little bit on AoE2, but he is here. And all my opinions could be proven wrong here by Kasva today, and especially in this Civ matchup. I think this Civ matchup is really good for Britons, which we will get to. Vinchester has gone forward with the... Oh, wait. Oh, God. Teal kind of looks like gray on the minimap. Okay, never mind. I thought he went forward with his scout. But Vinchester did not. Man, if you watch the previous series, it was just lame after lame after lame after lame. And this is actually a normal Dark Age, which is kind of refreshing. So, Elephant goes down. And we're going to have 4 on wood start for Vinch. Now, here's what I like about Incas. You get 10 pop space per house as opposed to 5. So you notice how Vinchester didn't make 2 houses at the start? He just made 1. And then he just needs 1 more house, and then he's going to be up to 25 population space. And so Vinchester understands his Civ and already has adapted his build a little bit in the Dark Age. Vinch is notorious for picking Britons, or Incas, sorry. And anyone who plays with this Civ should be running forward with the Eagle. Laming is allowed. I don't see any resources that could really be taken, but an Eagle could definitely kill a villager here, so that's annoying. Now, I'd be surprised if Vinchester actually wants to take that elephant there, but he did force Kasva into another house. So I think it's a little sloppy from Kasva not to just wallow in the Ville, because he did have the time. All right. See what happens here. Barracks on the way for Vinch. See, I was wondering if he did that because he wanted the early barracks. Because you could have placed 2 houses right away. I guess he placed his second house. I don't know. The timing might not matter. Vinch going to go for a little bit of control. Britons are a terrifying Civ to face up against if you are the Incas. Yes, you have Eagles. Yes, you've got skirms. But I feel like if Britons can wall their map off, and then they can push forward with crossbows, it's very hard to stop them. At the same time, Vinchester is a terrifying player to play against. Vinchester plays aggressive all the time. A great example is that Eagle there. And I think, you know, in terms of their age and just their style, Kasva, you could kind of compare a little bit more to Doubt. He's on the older side. He's played this game for a very long time. It's more about strategy for him. He does not really have the best micro. And for Vinchester, you could kind of compare him to the other kids of the game, like, you know, Hera, Leary. Vinchester was Hera and Leary before Hera and Leary were Hera and Leary. 2015, granted, Hera did play at that time, and I think Leary did, but he wasn't well known. Vinchester was like, everyone's saying, oh my god, he's going to be the best, blah, blah, blah. And then he's notorious for doing really weird things and really weird strats and tourneys. And so what happened was he wasn't getting results because of that. And then he kind of fell off in my mind and other people's mind due to that. And then this year, man, this year especially, he's really changed everyone's thinking and done quite well. Here we go. Vinch is like 24. No. Vinch is like, I don't know, maybe 22. I don't know. I can't keep track anymore. I'm getting older, they're getting older, and we're getting older at the same rate. I can tell you that much. Kasva, I think, is 35, though. And also, I believe there is a hole there. Like, that is gaping. Can understand how Eloy the Legend wouldn't know about that, but that is a hole. And, okay, there you go, Kasva. He closes the gap. And Vinchester went to Militia, and then Fast Feudal behind this. And normally I'd say, oh, it didn't really do that much. But it's actually amazing, because it's keeping Kasva off of gold. Kasva can't comfortably go to gold, which is what Kasva wanted to do with this build order. So if I'm Vinchester, I would keep an eye... Okay. Well, he's allowed Kasva to get to the gold. He's actually... You know what? This is funny. Houses have less armor now. And he's using his hill bonus against the house. Are we about to see Kasva try and repair the house? Dude, why are you trying to repair a house? Just make another house, dude. I'm very confused by this. Why not? Yeah, just literally make... No, don't make it there. Because then he's going to take that one out too. What the... Okay, he's house walling to be able to repair a house. Guys. I don't understand this. Okay, I'm being told Kasva's 27 but looks 37. I mean, truthfully, I never confirmed the details. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Why? Vinchester's got to be loving life. The villager idle time, the messiness that he's caused. I'm very confused. I would have just made a house over here, let the other house go down, and then add an archery range. So anyways, he's got the archery range. Vinchester behind this will do the exact same. Vinchester also going for the wood and the farm upgrade behind this, so good eco upgrades. And he's going to go man-at-arms. Now, one of the best things you can do, besides attacking houses, is to attack a mill. Because they can't just make a mill somewhere else on the other side. So this is a really good idea. And now you've got to worry a little bit if you're Kasva, because you know there's probably going to be some skirmishers and archers coming out across the map from the enemy. I like this, though. What really hurts right now is his wood eco. But I like the gold situation because he was able to get 40 gold. But you see all these villagers, they're going to have to make another lumber camp, and that's exactly where that pressure is going to be coming in. So Kasva, oh man, pulling them across the map to place that lumber camp. Yeah, it's looking a little messy right now. Is the house bubble finally popping? I just still don't really understand what happened there. Messy eco for Kasva. Even's got some weak villagers going out to the wood line. And he's just trying to track that army right now. And Vinchester seems to be happy to play somewhat safe here. He hasn't really moved out with his ranged units yet. Walling off the south. As army looping around. So he seems to be heading forward here. We haven't talked about Vinch's map much. As we'll see some walling from Kasva. Vinch's map is not really that great. That gold could be brutal against the Britons. And no back gold options. He's got this gold. And he's got this gold. Everything very exposed there. Alright, Kasva. Trying to take the ostrich. It's okay. He didn't want the zebra. He just wants ostrich. He's a very picky eater. So he won't be upset about that. And he is fletching. So I think Vinch is going to try and do sneaky 2 archers to get some eco damage in. But honestly, I think Kasva's going to be fine. Kasva's got some really good army numbers. He hasn't been very aggressive, but I don't know if the situation is really called for it yet. If Vinchester were to sneak the 2 archers in this way, it would be really strong, but it's a little too late for him. Because he's kind of run the wrong way. But it is Vinchester. So let's see this. You see that villager from Kasva? He's going to try and make a house there. And no way, Kasva. This is so smart. He knows that archers might sneak. Look at that. He sees it. He should notice this. He should react to it. Oh, God. Well, you know, if he loses the Vill, then it's still going to be advantage Vinchester. Good job from Vinchester. And, oh, Kasva tries to gate it out, and boom! Dead. Sick. Because now, you're defended at home. You've got good eco upgrades. And then you can just harass with these 2 archers for the next minute. And if he gets an archer kill, he'll love it. Oh, yeah, huge. Kasva, don't lose another archer here. Oh, geez, man. So 2 archer kills and a villager kill for 2 archer kills. And Kasva is going to need a market here, guys. Remember when he sent all those villagers to wood? He didn't have any vills on stragglers then. His eco is kind of out of whack. Normally you have vills on stragglers. You pull them off into farms, kind of like Vinch is doing. See that? That's why straggler trees are important. That said, marketing here is very good, and you could just sell your stone. It feels a little weird to sell your stone with Britons because they do need that stone for cheap TCs sometimes in Castle Age. But Kasva's experienced, and Kasva will know that this economy has not been clean from him. So he needs to help himself out a little bit. All right. Farrell says maybe Facebook needs to spend money on the platform instead of creators. There's going to be improvements on the platform, man, but I can't. I think that'd be really poor if I just say, hey, Facebook, maybe that's what you need to spend your money on, man. I sympathize. If you're having issues watching on mobile, my suggestion would be use the other app. I'm streaming at the same bitrate and pretty much everything else that I streamed with on Twitch, so everything there is consistent. But Kasva's got to get out of here. I think, like, you should check to see if it's on normal or low latency. A lot of people are having better luck if they go to normal latency. And then if you're on mobile, you can go to the normal app, like the normal Facebook app or the gaming app. A lot of people just don't know that. Yeah, I'm also not going to pretend that there haven't been some issues for people, and I understand that, and I can do what I can do, right? And then there's only so much that I can control. So Kasva's up with a really fast uptime. What's weird to me, though, is he's just on one range. He's not on two. I feel like you would want to have two ranges. But he does have good numbers, and he will have crossbow, and should have bodkin. But, again, his eco upgrades aren't looking too good. But with Britons, it's all about using the extra range in Castle Age to get wins. And, oh, he's going to run up the hill before that? Against Vinch? I don't know if I like that decision. I wish I would have paid attention to the KD. But I think that was really poor. I would have preferred he just wait instead of hopping out like that. Because if you're on one range, as he's now adding a stable... Oh, what? What? So he wants to get a knight out there to counter any skirms. Interesting. I honestly don't mind the whole stable thing. I just want him to have more crossbows. But we'll see. Yeah, so IndieTard said the Facebook app works better than Facebook gaming app. Yeah, and then I have other people saying that it works better in the other apps. Gotcha, Vascarius. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's tough for me, right? I don't... It sucks to hear that some people are having connection issues. It's also really annoying that people can't use their accounts as seamlessly as they maybe could elsewhere, right? I'm going to do my best to help you guys in what ways I can, right? But I also, people have different internet settings. People are watching from different areas of the world. People have different phones and different PCs, and there's just so many factors that go into it, so it's tricky. So basically, it depends, is what I'm saying. It depends. Double Palisade here from Vinch is he needs to wait for the next age. Kind of feels like, I mean, he should never have a hole there. But it kind of feels... There is a hole! I was just going to say, it felt like there was going to be a gap there, and oh my god, Kasva could take game one. No way, dude. We have seen so many holes in this tourney, but at the same time, Vinch has got to check that stuff, man. You were sitting back here the whole time, and you didn't even think to click a unit outside of your walls in game number one. Elimination match, too. And 10 villagers have gone down for Vinchester, and that could be game over. Here comes the knight. He's completely off of golds. Man, Vinchester he did not have a bad game. He played everything pretty well. I think he would have been okay without a tower. But he didn't do the basic thing of just checking to see if he has a hole. And now more knights are going to stream in. He is going to get Bodkin Arrow. But an issue for Vinch is that he just doesn't have Vills anymore. And I would not be surprised if Kasva buys stone. Ready? Boom. Called it. He's going to buy stone. TC. Like, okay, I'm going to buy stone for the TC because I've just killed a bunch of your villagers, and now come at me, bro. I don't think Kasva really uses that vernacular. I don't think Kasva's going to say, come at me, bro. But he might, and maybe he should. Also, his opportunity to kill more vills. I think here you do go for the vill kills because you probably want... What? No, actually, you can go for the skirm kills here. This is more than fine. Look at him micro the crossbows underneath the tower. That's so good. God, I hate to be in Vinch's spot right now. Also, the knight ran over here. He had to fight it off with vills. Ugh. I would be very frustrated. And that frustration might even carry on to the next game. Hopefully, Vinchester will be able to recover. This not even in this game. I think this game might be lost, but it just mentally as we go forward to future games. Kasva will continue to send knights forward. Kasva's now creating vills out of 2 TCs. We might even see him go 3. Britain TCs are cheap after all, but he doesn't have the stone. So here come the 3 knights, and Vinchester just has to do more damage control. Plug the gap, dude. Oh, I can't even plug the gap yet because of the freaking crossbow there. Okay. Duve says, do you just dump everything onto gold and try and spam eagles? Not in this spot, but yeah, that's probably not a bad follow-up. The answer is no, because he doesn't even have any infantry upgrades. So think about what he'd need. He'd need the eagle upgrades. He would need the blacksmith upgrade. Then he would need to have 3 barracks. By the time he ever gets there, he's going to be behind by 30 vills. So that came at the worst possible time. If that hole happens in feudal, you then say, oh crap, we're behind. Then we can adjust. And we can prep for what we need to do in castle. But the hole coming then, when you're not expecting it, just ruins all your plans. I really would have liked to have seen what Vinch would have been able to accomplish if there was no hole. I think he would have been okay. I still think Kasva would have been on the second TC behind walls, but... Great job from Kasva. He knows these knights are weak, but he knows that if they stay alive and they can out-micro, as he's done wonderfully there, that he can buy time. And he's now going for a siege workshop as well. Interesting choice. I don't mind this, because the only thing you're really seeing from Vinch is skirm. I don't mind it. I think I would probably just go for the 3rd TC, because I'm a boomer. I don't know if you really need siege against skirms when you have knights, but there's also crossbows, so maybe he's worried about that. There's arguments to be made, as he's just going to take fights, or not take fights and run away. Britons are just a sick civ against Mezzo, because they're really good against the eagle play, and they're really good against the archer play, and they're also really good, and this is the most important thing. Britons are extremely good at killing villagers when there's a hole in the wall with no tower, as we just saw there. So great job from Kasva to make use of his civ strength and know how the Britons operate. What a beast. He's adding the 3rd TC now. And we're just seeing that Vill difference climb and climb and climb, and a big mango shot. Focus on the crossbows here. Good job, Kasva. Don't even worry about the skirms. Just focus on the crossbows. Yeah, Vinch is going to play on here, guys, and Vinch is really good with micro, but there's just no chance. If Vinch wins this game, I will do 16 cartwheels. Yeah, that 16 cartwheels is enough. I can barely do 1, so I think that's a good enough goal to set. I'll get more creative with my goals later on, trust me. Of course, he can't even add a 2nd town center himself because he had to go for the tower. He doesn't even have a market. So buying a town center would be a waste, though, so this is bad. Kira, welcome. He says, oh, so I just joined and this game seems to be over. Super over. Massive hole in the walls for Vinchester. And he's going to micro here and split for the boys, but he's going to get rocked. Oh, no, he won't. Well, he will, just by the crossbows. It would not be appropriate for Kasva to 105 or for Kasva to say resign. But Vinchester is very far behind here. Which makes for an exciting series, guys, because I said 3-1 for Vinchester. By the way, I said 3-1 when I wanted to say 3-0, but I said 3-1 because anything can happen, and that was a really wise prediction on my part. My predictions were all on point yesterday. I don't know if I said a prediction for Sito or ACCM today, which is disappointing. I have to do a better job of documenting my excellent predictions. Because I say after the fact, like, oh yeah, I definitely thought that was going to happen. Then it just doesn't sound good. Also, Kasva, I mean, it's easy to look good when you're this far ahead. But after Feudal Age has looked really capable. And I would say, having played against him a bunch, that seems to be where he shines. Castle Age onwards, it's early Feudal Age where he can struggle. Yeah, he has looked really good. His eco's good. His eco balance is good. He's taking solid fights. This is a little risky, but the knight is going to hold his own for a little while. Now, watch me jinx him and have him throw this position because there's skirmishers chasing down the crossbows and there's siege coming forward. And the siege for Kasva just got picked up by an eagle. This game cannot be thrown. Surely. No way. This game cannot be thrown. He was about to go imp. Everything was fine before I said he's done a really good job in Castle Age. He's getting Cav armor right now. It's 81 villagers versus 53. Second TC for Vinch. This game cannot be thrown. Did I predict Sito? Do you remember what I said in the Sito series? Did I say 3-2? I don't know. I forget. Yeah, like yesterday with Nikov. Nikov Dogal got the prediction perfect. All the other sets, I think I got my predictions perfect. So it's Arabia, so I feel like if anyone's got any like wild differences to my predictions, they probably aren't as experienced with it, because like a lot of this should be expected, I think, at this high level until maybe the real close sets, right? We've got like a Jordan Hera coming up later and a Viper MBL. I actually do feel like I have a pretty solid grasp on how that will go too, but we'll see. We will see. Thing about Arabia is that anything can happen. Kasva right now is leading because anything can happen. Holes in walls. Boom. Dead. Or so you would think anyways. As we're going to have a castle here. Ugh, God, he's going to try and drop a castle there. There's an army in his base right now. Kasva is... He's throwing this ever so slightly. He's off a lot of farms, so he won't have the food eco to get some of his upgrades in the next stage. He will take out that mangonel, though. That's really good. I like that decision. The castle looks... The castle spot is just not great. I think this hill would be much better. But his crossbow micro is still fine. I think Say My Name screwed everyone by scaring Viper into playing AoE 2 super hard. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, that's not the first time. A lot of people are surprised with Say My Name's performance, probably because they didn't see the guy too much. But there was another tourney recently where they played, and Say My Name looked really good against Viper. I think Viper won 3-1 there, but Viper had to come back in one of the games. Say My Name is a beast. I've been saying it for years, but it's easy to forget that, I think. Okay, so what I like about Kasva's position is he's about to hit him with crossbow numbers. Oh my God, dude! What is happening? Huh. If he loses this game, I'm going to lose my mind. He still has a 30 vil lead, but now he's going to be imp with 3 crossbows. Kasva, no. Don't you lose this game. He's going to drop towers here because he thinks that Vinchester is going to castle drop him. He's panicked. And he needs these golds right now. This is going to be the biggest throw of the tourney if he loses this. What? What? Towers are never a play, by the way. Never do that. No, just don't drop the towers. I think that's a misplay. Because if he drops a castle on you, you just trap it down. So I don't agree with that decision. He needs to mass more crossbows now. Vinchester is caught up. Vinchester has a lot of map control to work with right now. And Vinchester's missing one building. I guess he's going to use the castle for it. Okay, there's the university. So Vinchester's going to be later to imp than he would want. But he will be an imp. Now, Britons have amazing champions to counter any eagles. That's also very good against the skirm comp. Overall, I think what Britain should do for the time being, because their eco's not that great, is go Arbalest and skirm. Mix in your own skirms. If you're really worried about the skirms, just add your own. But it's not a problem. Castle Age skirms are not a problem against Arbalest. Not with Bracer. So the skirms melt. So Vinchester doesn't really have good units to deal with this right now. And he doesn't have the range. I do like the tower from Vinch, however. And... Kasva, bro. Literally, before this series, I was talking about how I 4-0'd Kasva this week, and I really wanted Kasva to, like, show up and be a god, and then everyone be like, wow, T90's actually not bad at the game. And now I'm just like, I'm crying here, Kasva. Kasva, you're in the driver's seat, bro. Grab a hold of the wheel and put your pedal to the metal. Finish him off. He runs in here, and there's a castle. Vinchester is prepped wherever he needs to be. And Vinch is going to prep a tower here as well. And guys, if Britons don't have a big ranged mass, if they don't have a big snowball, they are a bad civilization. You need to have like 30, 40, 50 military with siege, and you need to be pushing in one spot. This whole raiding game is a dangerous sign for Kasva. Oh, my word, dude. I mean, which civ is better in late game? Britons or Incas, chat, if you had to choose? I honestly think I'd still pick Britons. Because Britons have extra range cross arbalest. And they have access to stables, so they can make light cav. And their light cav's not that bad. This 84 to 81 KD is... It really should not have been the case here. But Kasva is just... He's making himself work for it here. Now, siege ram is possible for Incas, which is true. And the Eagles and Skirms and siege ram can be really strong. So it's not like Incas are bad in late game. But I think they're going to need this gold down here. I want to see... Okay, Vinch scouted his own gold, but not the neutrals. And same exact thing for Kasva. Okay, so Kasva looping around this way. Vinchester with more towers. They are cheaper, these towers, with the Incas. And now there's no army to protect this trebuchet. The light cav are going to be coming in, though. It's just the light cav don't have even the castle age armor yet. So I think the light cav will end up dying. And then the towers will get hit. So Kasva can't be here right now. But Kasva is clearing up these crossbows. So he's going to repair his treb. He's going to send more light cav forward. This game should still... I feel like this game should still never be lost. With a 50 vil lead, Kasva just needs to get more on food and he needs to spam light cav. That's got to be his priority right here. Arbalest and Skirm, what little is out there for Vinchester, will not be good against trebuchets, as we're seeing here. I think what Kasva's doing right now is he's just not building enough buildings, and he's not making enough farms, but he's doing fine. Like, this whole make the stable with one villager thing seems very relaxed for a tourney. If Vinch can take out these trebs, he's got a chance. A lot of gold has gone down the drain for Kasva. But no, I think this castle will go down. Yeah, that castle's a goner for Vinchester. The light cav are going to be coming out. They are missing upgrades, but it won't matter. Vinchester's finally toast. Yeah, this is GG. The arbs are back here, by the way. Forcing a bunch of idle time. And woo! Holy crap, dude. That's crazy. Shub says Vinchester has too many vills in queue. Now, Vinch is fine. Vinch is behind by 40 vills. So Vinchester, he basically got lucky that Kasva made some mistakes, if we're being honest. And he still was so far behind that he could never come back from that. He lost like 15 vills because of the hole in the wall. And then he didn't have the town center. So I can't fault Vinchester for anything Vinchester did. After the hole was just unfortunately a killer. I think that Kasva just, he took his good old time there, finally finishing off Vinchester. And maybe that's a wake-up call. Maybe Kasva needs to think, if this game if the next game isn't quite as big of a gap between us, that I'm going to have to be more assertive in my attacks. But well played. And those are just basic mistakes. If you think back to what happened here, there was double palisade wall. So he was there walling, and you got to click behind. I understand that it sucks. Like, there's now a palisade wall between that blacksmith and that range. But I also understand that these guys have been playing the game for like a decade. So you've got to know how awkward the elevation is, and it's a big event. Click beyond the wall. If a unit doesn't walk through, there's no hole. If a unit finds the hole, you plug the hole. And that made the difference there. Costly hole in the wall. All right, so Kasva, who I see as the underdog, up 1-0 to start off the day here. 6-6 stuff, I'm excited. Give Kasva his win. We'll look over to the Civ draft now. And here we go. All right, welcome everyone. Game number 2. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a good cast today. Viewership numbers have been strong. I'm excited. We have Vinchester in the teal playing as the Tatars. And then we have Kasva playing as the Byzantines. Britons and Byzantines. Feels like these civs that Kasva's been getting are just so awkward to play against, right? But speaking of awkward, the game heard that Vinchester was a little unfortunate in the previous game with the hole, and it has now given Kasva an unfortunate map gen. This forward wood line being a pond is going to be so frustrating. Look at all the clumps of wood near Vinchester's base. It just feels like he's got more to work with, right? Now, there is a wood line over here for Kasva. There's a wood line here and a wood line here. So it's not too bad. But it feels like that, if this was a real wood line, it would protect that main gold a little more than it does right now. Now, we have seen the Byzantines have success in this tourney. They have very cheap skirms, very cheap trash in general. They can go camels. They can do a lot of different things. We've also seen the Tatars have a lot of success. And the Tatars are a civ where you're just like, you know what they're going to do, but can you stop them? Typically, it's into archer play. Obviously, Kasva can counter that with skirms. But I think it's a numbers and a timing thing. So early castle age dictates who wins this game. I think there are other aspects. You have to play it out well into feudal age so you can have an advantage in early castle age. But think about early castle age. Because Tatars get free thumb ring. If they can get crossbow with free thumb ring out on the map with all these hills before Byzantines can get skirms, then I think Kasva's going to have some problems. They're also really close together, too. So they'll have to figure that out when they go scouting, but these players are really close together. So what I'd like to see what I'd like to see from Kasva is I'd like to see Kasva just flood the map with military and feudal. If you have cheap skirms, just make a bunch of skirms and archers. And just don't allow it to be a game where Vinchester can wall up behind his wood lines and just wait till castle age. I think that's what I would do. As for how I'd open here, I think if I were Kasva, I would probably just open with one range and start off very passive. I've been messing around with Byzantines a little bit, and I play random civilizations, so I experience a lot of civs when I play. And I feel like trying to go for the tight man-at-arm builds that you see from Japanese and Tatars and all these civs that have some sort of eco bonus, it just feels a lot more awkward. And I think what people try and do is they try and play into man-at-arms against eco civs, and then they just fall behind. So I wouldn't mind with just walling up, as we're seeing now, because that is a bonus for Byzantines. Kind of protect this back area of your base, and then just make skirms to take control, and then take your gold later on. Agar Hussar, I think you're trying to be funny, but I'm not, like, and I'm going to cast with Dave later, but saying bring in Dave or we'll leave you viewerless, I do not think is funny. So, I know you're being cute, but I'm, like, putting in effort and feel like I'm doing a decent job. Not my best job at casting right now, so I get that you want to bring in Dave. I'm going to have Dave in here for other sets, but saying that type of stuff to any streamer, regardless of the names that you fill into that type of a sentence, is just not cool. So if you could not, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for being here. I know you're just joking. It's especially bad. Like, I've seen that type of stuff on smaller streamers' streams, and that it bothers me when people are saying, "Oh, I'm going to T90 streamer. Oh, I like T90, not you." People are just really, they don't try and be rude, but sometimes there's some ways that things are said that can come off as rude. So I just wanted to, like, talk about that, if not for my sake, for other people. T90, bring in Nilly or we smother you in support. See, that's more like it. I don't like Nilly anyways. Kappa, it's a joke. It's a joke. All right, so good scouting here from Kasva, and Vinchester forgot a house here, guys. This is just basic stuff here, but he is on the way to feudal, so I guess he's just going for man-at-arms. The first militia will just be delayed, and Kasva's doing exactly what I said. I love this because the walls counter the man-at-arms. You protect your wood, you protect your berries, and okay, you can still go out to the gold as long as you get some walls down. I think this is a really good play from Kasva. The only thing is he's got too much on food right now. You want to have 11 on wood at the very least here. We'll see, though. I'm a little uncertain on if he's going to have the resources for what he wants. Now everyone's trying to make me feel better. Oh, you guys are so cute. Thanks, chat. Means a lot. See, it was just part of Magyar Hussar's plan to get me to respond and say, no, don't do that, and then have everyone be nice to me. So well done. I'm going to nitpick, but this gate is actually a really bad idea. Because if you have one palisade wall, it's a lot more difficult for units to surround the palisade wall. And it's a lot easier if they're all attacking the palisade wall to just add 2 houses to block it. You cannot add 2 houses to block a gate. You'd have to have 3. So you've given the opponent the hill with Tatars, which is actually really tricky because they do more damage on top of the hill. And now they can just easily attack that gate. So I don't like that. And Kasva doesn't have the barracks yet, chat. Kasva does not have the barracks. This is huge. He forgot it. He forgot his barracks. He's going to try and go for range. And he doesn't have a barracks. And now he's like, crap. Oh, no, I can't do that yet because I don't have this. And now he has to go for a tower. Ah. Jeez, dude. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, these first two sets, man, and we've had some good games. I think overall, the games have been really solid and the sets have been competitive. But the amount of, like, basic mistakes that we have seen in this series, I'll just say, is just unreal to me. Basic things, like forgetting a barracks? Mango Melon, chat, I don't know her rating. I think she's like 1,300 or 1,400. We'll just say 1,600, just in case we lowballed her and are going to make her feel bad. She said, OMG, I feel that, right? Now, again, no offense to her, but she is not in King of the Desert 4. Because she's not at King of the Desert 4 level. So that's a little weird to me. Also, to make the tower and then completely abandon the gold is weird. And Vinchester goes, that's cute. Your tower literally does nothing to protect me from towering your gold. It's a smart play from Vinchester, who's just basically punishing Kasva for really lackluster play with archers this game. There's no military for Kasva, except for that one scout, and he's just standing on the magic carpet. Nella's on the road to 2K. Yeah, aren't you all on the road to 2K, chat? It just... I think the reason it bothers me is just because... They're so talented. And to see this type of a basic mistake is just not a good representation of the skill level these players have. They did not get here making mistakes like this. And now they're here. This is the moment. The pressure's on. Things are just falling apart. I mean, look at Vinch's eco. He's still got sheep to work with because Tatars have extra food on their sheep. He hasn't had to go crazy. Just one archer range. I don't think he walled up the back of the tower, which I'd like to see. But he did, for the most part, wall up the tower. So he's denying the golds. And now he's going to be sitting on this hill here. And he's just going to be picking where he can away at Kasva's base. Now, do you guys remember my tone in the previous game about how, like... Kasva did not have a good feudal age, and then Kasva ended up winning that game. I think it's important to remember that was the case. Because if Vinchester doesn't wall, or if Vinchester does wall, but then forgets to fully wall, there could be some potential for a counterattack. Okay, so Woodline has of course been awkward. If you look at the worker efficiency over the last minute, 86% for Vinch and 75% for Kasva. 75% isn't too bad. Still has had most of his villagers working. Plus, he's got fletching. And, you know, bad stuff happens from time to time, but you still just gotta, you've got to figure it out. Figure it out, as my Canadian friends will say. And not a bad fight here for Vinchester, though he did lose some archers. This is actually so good. And it looks like he wants to tower again. What is this tower going to accomplish for you, Vinchester? You know what this reminds me of? You know the old tutorial from the year 2000 where it's like, it would be a good idea to build a watchtower on this hill. You know that? I play that song from time to time. That's what that reminds me of. I mean, it does give him really good vision over the ranges, but it doesn't deny any immediate resources. Like, what I'm thinking is, towering here would be good because it allows you to break in, and it denies some of the wood line. But you know what? Maybe he's hesitant because he thinks that... Well, I mean, he is keeping Kasva off of his stones. But maybe he's hesitant because he's waiting for Kasva to hop out with more army than what he has. That's probably the reason. Playing super open. I feel like if I'm Kasva, I counterattack. Right? Because you can just go to this wood line. Wait a second. Where's he going? Is he going to rush that down? Where are these vills going? What are they... Oh, God. Okay, remember that time where I said that Vinchester didn't fully wall in this tower? This could be the moment he regrets it, guys. All he needed was one house here, and this tower can never be battered down. He did it on the front, and now... Oh, God. This series is tilting me. This series is tilting me. There's so much military for Kasva, and Kasva is going to just take out the tower. He's going to take back his gold, and he's going to run over to Vinch's base, where Vinchester doesn't have military or walls. Also, you can fit villagers under the corner areas to take out towers here, too. So he is just going to sit here with his skirms. He's going to take out this tower as well. And then the villagers are going to be exposed. So here comes Vinch, and he's going to just add the wall. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so the villagers are actually, like, bugged into the tower themselves to repair, which can happen when your villagers can't escape due to the walls being in a weird spot. It's very hard to explain. Well, I'm happy that Vinchester's buying himself time with repairing this, because if he were to lose those villagers, he'd be behind in vills. Kasva's got a lot of military. Vinchester, though, on this wood line, and so he's pushing the villagers off of that wood line. Okay, I think Kasva is going to have to make sure he doesn't lose archers here, because if he loses the archers, there could be a scout out there for Vinchester, and then he also can't kill the villagers. So good job. He puts the archers in there. I like that. Now he sees the villagers are on the move, and now he's going to jump in for them. Did Vinch just throw his advantage? I don't think Vinch ever needed to make the second tower. I just think he needed to play standard from there. So yeah, in some ways, he definitely did, I'd say, but it still depends. We'll see. It has not been a clean game for Kasva either. And Vinchester is coming in with the military. This is what I'm talking about. He runs back with the villagers. This is where the villagers belong. Focuses down most of the archers. And then the scouts are going to be here for the skirmishers. Well played, Vinchester. As he wants to get another tower. Is he scared of cataphracts? Kasva, home field advantage. Has more ranged units here. Still has the potential to push this back. Seems like Vinchester just wants to deny the stones. So I think that, yeah, this stone is actually Kasva's stone. My concern for Vinchester is just how open he's playing. If there's ever a counterattack, he could be in big trouble. So he's got to make sure that his army is constantly microing and doing a good job. He's going to go for another tower. Now, Kasva's about to click up to Castle Age. This is a tower you start to get scared of. And yeah, you buy your own tower here. Good job from Kasva. And he should be able to complete his tower, take his gold just fine, and click up to Castle, but faster than Vinchester. Why would Tatars be afraid of cataphracts? I don't know. It's just weird that... I mean, at this point, I think it's a positional thing. But I'm with you, Varian, that I don't think denying stones from Byzantines is necessarily something you have to do. I think it's a confidence thing for Vinch. I think that he's so confident being aggressive against Kasva because he thinks Kasva's slower than him, which is super true, by the way. If we look at the APM, it's probably, yeah, it's all about Vinch. Not always, but Vinch is just so much more focused on micro. So I think Kasva just, he believes so much in his ability to do damage here. Vinchester, that he just plays open because he thinks he can. But it's also a big risk, I'd say, to play this open, as we do see Vinch on the way up, and Kasva's going to dive the towers. So he's got 5 villagers in this tower. They'll have villagers attack this tower. And yet again, we're going to see why tower rushing is not really a successful strategy anymore in high-level Age of Empires 2. The towers are too weak. Defender's advantage is too strong. And Vinch loses more vills. In fact, Vinch is the only one who's lost villagers in this game. What is happening? What is happening? Kasva can take another win here. He's got good military. He's going to be in Castle Age faster. Granted, he's had a bunch of idle time, but this is a messy, messy series. Holy cow, man. Woo! All right, so we're going to see knights for Vinchester. That's the plan. Very random, very open base for him. It's just that type of game. For Kasva, he has primarily skirmishers. So if you see the stable and you've already seen some scouts, you have to know that you either need archers or you need your own stable, and you probably need to make some camels. He is going to get crossbow. It's interesting he prioritized the crossbow upgrade first, though. Because I would say get bodkin arrow, because at least that benefits your skirms. He's got 2 archers he's upgrading here. 2. There's bodkin. Okay. So he's got these upgrades coming in, and now Vinch is falling back to defensive towers again. But he could lose more villagers to this army. I mean, this army could loop around. But it feels like Vinch is going to be able to get knights to deal with this. And this Kasva passes stable number 2. I think he needs to get out of here. Kasva trying to fix his eco now, pulling some of the excess villagers off of gold. Is queuing up crossbows, which is the correct play, but it's going to take some time. So I think he has to back up. Vinchester over here with archers is going to try and get some damage in. Now check this out, guys. This is what Vinch can see. This is a normal civ without town watch, okay? Yeah, I don't think he has town watch. Now Byzantines have town watch and town patrol. You ready for this? Oh! It was the weirdest noise I've ever made in my life, but because he has town patrol, he can see this army, which would catch any other civ off guard, looping around to the side. So he wants to send skirms over here, but he sent the skirm over here too early. But he does at least know it is here. And I think Vinch is going to be fine here. He's going to at least push the units away from the wood line. And he's going to be able to boom behind this. So this is okay for Vinchester. As on the hill with Tatars, with the hill bonus, with the skirms not having the second armor, he takes the fight against the counter unit. And look at Vinchester go. This is insane. He also dove the tower there for some garrisons. Remember I talked about it in Dark Age about how good Tatars are with Thumb Ring? Well, here we have it, guys. I said Byzantines would have to have skirms with numbers and with upgrades to be in a good spot. And Kasva will end up clearing this, but he lost a lot of military here. Overall KD, way in favor of Vinchester. He's going for TC number 3. So he did lose the villagers. It was messy. But kind of true to the thinking I think he has. He is really good. And he probably feels like he's better than Kasva. And he's here to show it. That said, Kasva's got a mix of skirms. And he's got a mix of crossbows. He doesn't have a second town center yet. He also doesn't even have ballistics yet. So his army's kind of fragile for this stage of the game. For Vinch, you want to attack. But at the same way, you want to attack, which essentially holds you, keeps you safe at home. Control the game, boom up, and hope to get a big villager lead is kind of the plan here. All right. I think what Vinch is going to do here, he's going to continue more of the same. Oh, Cav Archer, sick. Okay. Yeah, he's going to continue more of the same. I think there is going to be a point where the ball of skirms and crossbows is awkward for him to deal with. However, I think by that point, he'll have a pretty solid lead economically. And I think at that point, he's probably just going to drop a castle. And knowing Vinchester, it'll probably be offensive based on how he's played this game. Yet now this army just should not be able to get much value if you're Vinch. He is going to try and take out the crossbows, though. Actually did a sick job of taking out the crossbows. Wow. Wow, look at him. Look at him. Micring all before ballistics comes in. Well played, Vinchester. I take it all back. Okay, so that gets cleared. And now Kasva's like, let's push, man. Let's push. He's got 3 ranges. He does have full Castle Age upgrades, but it's full Castle Age upgrades on an army of 10. He wants to add the TC there. Vinchester looking to be sneaky. Oh, tell me Kasva's going to see this. Oh, my. Well, he seems to just be sitting there for now. It's so funny. If I was Vinch, I would move the army in. Vinch doesn't know the army's there. And Kasva doesn't know the army's there. And why should he think there's an army there? Because it would always move in if it was there. Okay, thank God for Kasva that army didn't happen to move in right after he left. I would have felt... I would have felt super bad about it. Okay, so now he notices it, and he doesn't think Kasva notices it, so he's going to try and get the vills because he's cheeky like that. And, oh no, Kasva... Oh, that sucks. Kasva's behind by 15 vills. He also sees the siege workshop, so he's worried. And Vinch is imping. What? Very rare you see someone with more TCs going imp faster than Byzantines. It's normally the other way around. There's more vills in queue for Vinch. It's more expensive, and it's 1,000 food, 800 gold to go Imperial. God, man. There's still idle time here. He's going to see this castle. He's not going to know what to do with it. Just feels like Kasva just doesn't have much to really do. Also, this is one of the most annoying things you'll encounter. He patrolled down here, guys. And your units will prioritize enemy buildings. So that mining camp is huge. Castle goes up. Guard tower is actually researched by Kasva. That doesn't protect that gold. He does have the other golds over here. But when the Imperial Age comes in and a Trebuchet comes out, I mean, even a single Trebuchet might be enough for Kasva to feel like tapping out here. Kasva hasn't hit Vinchester's eco really at all. The only villagers that Vinchester's been losing has been the villagers that he sent to Kasva's base. You know, and then the opportunities come for Vinchester in that he could go Keshiks. He could get Cav Archer upgrades. He could do so much more than just the Trebs. Units should not patrol in the buildings. Very frustrating. See, I kind of disagree. I think that's a tough one, right? As long as they prioritize units over buildings when there's units on the screen, I think it's fine. Right? Like if he patrols in here and there's an army here and it patrols into the mining camp when it sees the Cav Archers, that would be bad. But I do think patrolling into buildings is actually good. I would say so. So it just depends on how it works when there's units around. But it is frustrating. It does happen. Nothing worse than patrolling an army of crossbows into someone's outpost in the mid-game. I've done that a few times. And Kasva calls the GG. As expected. This series is very weird, guys. This series, very, very sloppy and weird. It's not disrespect from Vinchester, because I think Vinchester's also just playing weird. Like this tower, for example. I guess he was thinking ahead. But it has just been a sloppy series. Vinchester made mistakes that game. I think Kasva made bigger mistakes. And not really the type of game you would want if you're Byzantines. Forgetting the barracks. Placing a preemptive tower was also very odd. Anytime you place a preemptive tower, the enemy's going to have an opportunity to tower another area of the gold. Okay, so let's say, how do you protect this gold so it can never be towered if you don't have army? If his first tower's here, the tower comes up here, and you still don't have gold. So you need army. His tower was here, and Vinchester towered here and took him off gold. Vinchester didn't wall in the tower, which was another side issue, but make military, man. Make military, Kasva. It's got to be better than that. Game number 1, Kasva was just... He wasn't bailed out. That one was looking pretty good, but a large reason he got the victory in game number 1 is because of a mistake from Vinch. So this might end up being that type of series. Sometimes you just don't have your day, and you're going to have to pull through with the victory anyways. This is to stay alive in the tourney. So we have Khmer versus Lithuanians. The first Civ matchup where I think we're going to see scouts for both. And if it's a scout play, it'll be very aggressive because if we have very open maps. Kasva's got the forward berries. He's got plenty of wood lines, but they're kind of scattered about, and it's the same for Vinchester here. I'm trying to think about what civilization I would prefer here. I think I would prefer to have Lithuanians in this matchup. I think the plus 150 food that you start with is just very strong. I could have found a more creative way to say that, but I think plus 150 food is good. It can lead to a faster uptime. The other thing is you have a monastery which will pump out monks 20% faster. That helps in a knight v knight fight in the mid game. And a lot of people forget that the monastery works faster. That's actually a really big deal. Then you get plus 1 attack on your knights per relic, which is sick. And then if you want to go pikemen, their pikemen are super speedy. So I don't know. Feels like Lithuanians just have so many bonuses going for them. And then with Khmer, you're thinking about the fact they don't have to make a barracks before making a stable. And they have really good farms. So we will see. Watch Kasva do an instant rush now. Yeah, I know. Like, watch him go for a man-at-arms. Man-at-arms is not bad against Khmer, though. I wouldn't do it personally, but Kasva is a unique player, so I think the reason he's taking the straggler tree, though, is so he's able to get a lumber camp up in a good spot. Technically, if he wanted to, he could make a barracks. He's got the wood for it, but nah, he's not going to do that. Yeah, I mean, the instant rush thing, it just seems like high risk, high reward, right? But I do recall that happening quite a few times. Very weird to me with how messy this series has been so far. We're not seeing any laming attempts. If you watched ACCM versus Ito, I think there were 5 different elephant lames in that game. We had games where one person would lose the elephant and lose the sheep. Then the next time it would be the roles reversed. Then the next time after that, like both players stole elephants. It was crazy. So this game is just very peaceful. As I say that, though, Kasva's come forward. So no instant rush. I just don't like the instant rush because if you don't do damage with that play with Lithuanians, then all your other bonuses are harder to come to. It's like, I can't think of another example. I think what I said is probably a good explanation, but it can catch people off guard. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, since you start with plus 150 food with Lithuanians, if you can just make a barracks immediately, you can get a few militia out in the map faster than any other civ can do. But then you got to chop straggler trees. You don't have a lumber camp. You're spending all your extra food. If they quick wall you out, it looks really bad. But I do have some videos on that if you haven't seen it. Do you guys remember the game between Hera and Leary? And I'm trying to remember what tournament it was. It might have actually been King of the Desert 3. Hera Leary, King of the Desert 3 was Franks versus Lithuanians. And Hera went Lithuanian. Wait. No. I don't think he went instant rush. I think Hera sent a Vil forward to kill a boar. That's what it was. I think he loomed a Vil and he killed a boar at Leary's base or something. Ah, God, I should have thought more before I said that. But yeah, we've seen instances where stuff like that has happened. And the person who goes for the funky strategy oftentimes does lose. But the only tourney that really could have been was King of the Desert, I think. I recall very yellow terrain. And I think Leary came back to win that series, so. Pablo says, hey, T90, can you co-cast with some name I've never heard of? Pablo, I'm going to say no. I don't know who that person is. If that's a very well-known celebrity, I apologize, but I'm going to have to say no. Normally, I would say it depends, but I have no clue who that person is. Martin Silberman. Who is that? Should I know who that is? Oh, my memory was correct? Okay, let me Google this real quick. Martin. Who is Martin? And why are multiple people asking? Martin? Is this a fake person? I don't think it's a well-known celebrity. Dude, he is huge in England. Is he? When I Google it, there's a Facebook profile, and I guess we're on like we're on the Facebook platform now, so should I add him as a friend? I think it's someone in chat, isn't it? Is it some random person in chat right now? Oh, he's in chat. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Sorry, like I said, he's a very important person. Guys, you gotta be careful. That's a potential long-term subscriber right there, okay? You're ruining my career. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. There's the stable for Kasva. Kasva's going to get the wood upgrade. We have a 1 lumber camp approach from both players. So 2 lumber camps is what a lot of players will do for long-term efficiency. Just keep an eye on that. But very fast up times. And we have 2 to gold for Vinch right now? What? The only thing that tells me is that he might try and go bloodlines. But that is a very weird time to go to gold. Don't think he's going to have the food income consistently after the 2 scouts to create more of them. And he's going to have spearmen coming forward. That's the difference here. Yes, it's a bonus to not have to build the barracks, but it can actually hurt you because a smart Lithuanian player is just going to swarm you with spears. It's either going to force you into archers. Okay, that's why he's doing it. Okay. Yeah, it forces you into archers earlier than you want. Or you have to make your own spearmen, which you can't do. Okay, so this makes sense now. There is an idol for Vinchester, but I kind of understand it. It's me, the guy that sent you the photos with the baby. Oh, that's you. You're the guy who always watches the stream with your kid. That's cool, man. I actually saw that post. I remember exactly who you are now. Someone sent me a photo of like their kid at like 1 month old and it was like always watching T90, and then 2 years later still sitting there with his 2-year-old. Maybe it was somebody else though. I don't know. Anyways, the aggression from Kasva is really awesome right now. And where you're at now, if you are Vinchester, is you don't have the food to make more scouts. Which is why when I saw him, he went to gold so early, I was a little freaked out for him. Because you're going to need food income for villagers and for scouts here. However, this is interesting. As you have that archer being attacked by the scout, and you've got villagers involved as well. It's crazy. Overall, that's not too bad for Vinchester, because Vinchester took out the spearmen. Of course, did lose the archers, but he also didn't lose any villagers there. Now, for Kasva, he's got really good food eco compared to the Russians, so he should be able to make an extra spearman. He should be able to make more scouts. I don't think he should be too worried. In fact, there's an argument to maybe make one spearman and not even make any more, and just worry about scout numbers from here. Because I'm not sure if Vinchester can field enough archers to really threaten scouts. It's just, will Vinchester be able to make enough scouts to threaten your scouts? And I think the answer is no there. Not yet, anyways. Okay, there's a nifty trick you can do. And, okay, that's not it. But you can, if they're still chasing you, peel off one of your scouts and hope that they chase that one. I like that approach from Vinchester because he wants to get some counterattacking in. And here come the archers. No fletching, though. Just a few more scouts for Kasva. A little bit of walling. I think he'll be okay. He knows that. He's going to dive here. A little early, maybe. Let's see if the Spearman plays a role, though. Spearman does play a role and does get some hits. I don't like that fight for Kasva. I think he needs more patience. The idea is fine. I don't think the archers would be that strong if you just had scout numbers. I guess Vinchester's done a really good job of adding archers and scouts consistently. Way better than I thought he would be able to when I saw that he transferred on to gold so early. And so now you're further behind in numbers because you took a bad fight. And if the numbers continue for Kasva, he's producing out of Vinchester, sorry, he's producing out of 2 military buildings. And oh my goodness, Kasva's going to get the hill and fight with the Vills because he doesn't have the confidence here. And honestly, if you're going to take a fight, pulling some villagers is good. Because it means that the army from Vinchester will sometimes prioritize Vills. It will allow you to clear up his army. And that's a good fight for Kasva in the end. Wow, that was sick, actually. That was really well done. And he didn't lose a villager either. So this is what we wanted from this series, guys. It's been messy, but it's a series where we finally have a game where it's back and forth action, and I'm not constantly questioning massive strategic decisions. It's, you know, the pressure's on. You've got armies patrolling out all the time. Did you guys pick up on this greed, though, from Vinchester? Check it out. He's got 500 food and climbing. He does have the gold for castle. This guy is going to try and go up. He's also going to run through. Oh, no, he's not. Debated. But yeah, he's also going to... I guess he has to try and defend from the scouts. If he can wall it out, it might be worth it, but it just feels very, very risky to do this. My cat likes it when T90 zooms in on Hunt. Oh, really? Well, what about holes in walls? Because we've had plenty in this freaking series. Constantly holes in walls. I'm losing my mind here, man. Now, thankfully, he's Khmer, so he can hop inside of houses. But, oh, whoop, quick wall. He does have to leave the gold for now. It's not the end of the world to leave the gold for now, because he doesn't really need gold for knights yet. But this is kind of what happens when you stop producing army. He's going to make a stable. Only 2 on golds. And Kasva's just going to go up behind this. I think Kasva's fine. But sucks for Kasva is that he had to make farms 3 tiles away from the TC, or 3 farms away from the TC. Ideally, he would have wanted it around the mill. But he was distracted earlier, so. What also hurts for him is that he's not able to do any damage to Vinch. So Vinch is actually okay now. I'd kind of like to see Vinchester make 2 more scouts. I think if he makes 2 more scouts with the archers he has, he'll end up being okay here. Great patience from Vinch to just wall in everything here, but... Oh, wait a second. Maybe he's baiting Kasva into a fight. Maybe he thinks he can win that now that he has fletching. He might be able to, actually. Yeah, 2 more scouts on the field would also be really nice against Lithuanians, because he probably wants some scout coverage to stop them from getting the relics. But there goes Kasva. Okay. About a minute for Vinchester faster to the next stage. That's pretty good. But he does not have a ton of wood eco. Also, not a lot of areas he can hit. But, you know what? Now that I say that, the wood line can definitely be ranged and the gold. So I think Kasva could have some problems. That greed from Vinchester paying off here. He doesn't have to worry about the scout army because the gold's now walled in, the farms are close by, and the wood line's walled in. So here go the archers. I hope to see ballista elephants. Don't we all want to see ballista elephants? Yeah, ballista elephants would be pretty cool here. I don't think we'll see it, but who knows? Never say never. Do you get bodkin arrow here? I feel like you don't, right? You do get crossbow, though. It's worth it to get crossbow, yeah. And then both of those stables at home are creating knights from Vinchester. Now, this is more like it. Now he's going to go for a TC. Very far forward, but he should get that up. So you get the faster castle age in, you pack a punch with military, and then you boom a little bit. This is what I'm talking about. This is the game I expected. This is King of the Desert. New mill for Kasva, which is probably good, but the fact he had to do it wasn't great. But he hasn't lost any vills just yet. I think there's a very good chance knights will dive his TC. I think they will run in here. If there's a gap, I think they... maybe not. Maybe they'll just attack the house? But you should run... Dude. Kasva. I'm a caster, man. I'm a caster. I talk about the game. It's not the first time this weekend we've seen such a basic thing of not making a gate in front of your TC play an impact. Play a role, but you know what? He did do quite well, actually. It's messy, but he does have the knights out now, so maybe he'll survive with only losing one vill. That's the first vill loss of the game. And that's all Vinchester really wants. He wants to kill a vill or two, and he wants to be on 2 TCs. The risk against Lithuanians is, can you compete with their knights if you don't stop them from getting the relics? Another vill goes down. Good job, Vinch. Could easily get one more vill kill here. Maybe even 2. He's still got decent HP on these knights. You just got to make sure he focuses on vills. And, okay, he's not really doing that. So normally, I would look across the map, see that Vinchester's on 3 town centers, and say, holy crap, Vinchester's going to outboom this guy. And this could, you know, be the win condition. This could be game over. However, Vinchester falling back against Lithuanians is risky. Because Lithuanians can all-in you like no other civilization can. And you already see it. You see double monastery. Kasva knows. So Kasva's going to go knights, and Kasva's going to go monks. And if the crossbows or the scouts or something don't stop Kasva from getting like 2 to 3 relics, we could have knights with full upgrades and plus 2 or 3 attack, however many relics he gets, plus monks on the front. So the potential is there for Kasva to maybe bring this back, but it's got to be soon. I love Vinchester and his sneakiness with crossbows. He's not really the type of player to mass crossbows and keep them alive all game. He likes to get some damage in, and then he likes to just peace out and make another unit. Here he comes. What does Kasva see? Kasva sees these knights. He's taking a fight here. A fight he's winning. A fight he is winning until Vinchester brings his own monks in here. This is where Kasva needs to run away. Good job from him. He thought about sending the scout, but no. Probably should just use the scout to look for the relics. He could try and kill the monk, but it's very weak. I don't think that'll happen. He takes a fight. I heard a knight die, but I didn't... Oh, it was the scout that died. That was just, I think, poor use of the scouts, personally. Crossbows are still sitting here. Finch has forgotten about them. And the crossbows might get some value. We have 55 villagers versus 46. Kasva, though, 1 TC. As I think you should be here. I think if you commit into town centers, you just kind of blow your chances of winning this. You have to invest everything into military. Punish the greed from Vinchester. You have to know you're behind. But if Vinch can make more knights, it's not necessarily about the attack. If there's more knights out there, then he's fine. 20% more knights and you're usually good. You've got to think a knight base attack is 10, so getting like +2 attack over someone, that's 20% extra attack-ish. Not even. It kind of depends. But anyways, just go for numbers if you're Vinch. And around 65 vills is where you tend to see the second and third stables come up. I think we're going to see that shortly. Crossbows still are here. I mean, when they show up to the wood line, they're going to surprise Kasva, because it's not something you're really expecting to see at this point. Kasva's got 2 relics, and oh, it's so disappointing. He's going for this one. Will he notice that? Actually, will Vinch notice that? The other relic is right in the middle, and okay, Kasva sees it. That should be a conversion, but it could maybe... Yep, got him. But the thing is, I don't think that monk makes it home. I think that monk will have to run the long way around, and there he goes. It's a lot of monks for Kasva. He's got 7 of them. Vinch has a 20 villager lead. I think he's going for the wrong approach. Look, he's going for +2 attack instead of more knights. That's the opposite of what you need here. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is huge. Look, watch the military count. And remember that some of that's crossbows, which don't really matter. The monks go down, and Kasva can just storm this. And there's not even many light cav out on the map. There's 4 light cav. Where are they? They're down here. The light cav are there to take out monks. But your eco could just disappear in a moment if you are Vinchester. We'll see if these monks survive, though. The monks are an important part of this army. They're going for conversions on light cav. The knights are there to protect. Good job from Vinch. But he still has to deal with this. Look at the military difference, and we know the attack difference is in. This is horrible for Vinchester. Vinchester's going to get completely run over by this army, and Pikeman's not going to do it at this stage. You would need a lot of pikes. There's 25 knights with lots of attack out there. And if I'm Kasva, I like this. I like the second TC. It will eventually go up if the crossbows don't deny it. And you just raid everywhere. Look at the villagers dropping. You've got villagers dropping over here. You'll have villagers dropping here. The idle time is going to be everywhere. The worker efficiency, I'll show you at the bottom left, is way down for Vinchester. And this is just not the way to play high-level King of the Desert Arabia anyways. Giving up control for the 3 TCs gets punished so hard, especially against Lithuanians. He does have 3 barracks to make pikemen, which is great. It's exciting. But does he have farmers anymore? Is he really going to have the food income he needs? Good conversion there from Vinchester. This is the area I think that Kasva's going to have to kill. This eco is kind of hard to hit all the time. He is doing it. This is an area where Vinchester's kind of running out of space. He's hitting that as well. But that next wave, it needs to show up here and take that out. And if he kills even like 10 or 15 more villagers, it could honestly even be game over. Because the Vill lead is gone for Vinchester. Such a good decision from Kasva. He's got 2 relics. It could be more like we said. He's about to bring in relic number 3, so he'll have even more attack. And just all-out military to come back in this one. I underestimated Kasva. I think maybe some others underestimated Kasva. I'm not going to say the user's name because people don't call me out, so I'm not going to call chat out. And someone in chat said, the civs won't matter. Vinchester just wins. The civs won't matter. I kind of feel like, I mean, the civ has mattered, but Kasva has mattered. And Kasva, just such clean transitions to the TCs after doing that damage. I love it. He just has to make sure he picks his spots now. There are monks and there are pikemen out there. And he's going to mix in some scorps now. Ace John is trying to call people out. Ace John, how dare you? No, he did not say that. And now you're just making your buddy look bad. If your friendships are like my friendships, it makes you very sad when you make your friends look bad, right? That's the last thing you would want. Is to make your buddies look like idiots. Oh, God. Another villager goes down. See, low pike numbers just won't do it. This is why I said pikemen won't work. A knight, especially with this much attack, 1v1's a pikeman, no problem. So if you've got 25 military versus 20, pikeman does nothing. Pikeman with knight and some monks. You know, if you mix in the pikeman before the trouble gets real bad, then maybe. But I think this is just another clear up for Kasva. And I think Kasva's about to go 2-1 up. I know the pop is super close. I know I'm getting ahead of myself. But this position for Kasva is just insane, dude. Then again, wait a second. Vinchester does have more pikes down here. And Vinchester is buying stone. Wait, he sold stone and then bought wood. Oh, he's adding a town center. Okay, I thought he was going to maybe drop a castle. Now, there is a world where you could maybe go skirms at some point if you're Kasva. I don't think you have to. But there is a world where you can do that. And maybe... Well, okay. Okay, maybe send some villagers off of gold. What? 38 on gold and 5 on wood? Okay. Dude, he can't even afford a mining camp on the stone right now. Holy crap. Maybe that eco balance isn't going to be enough. Also, the crossbows are still there, by the way. They could run right in. He's forgotten about them. We have a castle for Vinch. And the KD is just brutal right now. 100 kills and 43 units lost. Holy cow. The castle's crucial, though. It does stop any real push from happening here because these units can't fight underneath the TC. And I've just been getting ahead of myself today. It's my favorite thing is to get ahead of myself. I don't know if this game is over. I think this is a very close game. What am I talking about, man? That was a very satisfying shot from the Scorpions because the units were in a line. Look at that. Oh, another one. I think he could attack the TC from this side, honestly. Okay, let's look at Vinchester's eco. He's out of wood over here. He does have wood over here. Kinda has this wood, but Scorpions could range the wood line. Both players kind of behind in important areas. Maybe Kasva with eco upgrades, but he does have 3 relics. It's a shame, but he will eventually get this relic, you'd think. And here goes Vinchester, and he's just on this desperate attempt to get wood. Don't you hate that? TC will go down to Scorpions at this rate. And there's nothing you can really do against that if you're Vinch, which is why I feel this situation is so dire for him. The Khmer player is dying to Scorpions. On paper, that is hilarious. Should be Khmer wrecking with Scorpions. Again, 10 plus 5 attack on these knights. We have a market for Kasva. He could honestly buy himself Imp. If you buy yourself Imp and maybe drop a castle... Yeah, this is awkward. Here? Build a castle here, go Imp. And then just treb that down and go Cavalier. Maybe you're good. Imagine finding a woodline and then realizing there's a pond in it. Oh god, that sucks. And yeah, Kasva's just going to buy food. He doesn't need the Khmer farm bonus. He just buys food and he's on his way up. This is perfect from Kasva. And Vinch is basically in stabilized mode and has been for a while. He used to have farms. He's got farms, don't get me wrong, but his eco's just in ruins. While he still has the number. And you can see he had food and wood, but he just did not have the gold. And he didn't have control. Okay, if Kasva knew that this castle was being built here, I think he would drop a castle on this hill. Let's see if he goes for that anyways. He's fallen back now. Oh, the crossbows! The crossbows arrive and the gold is gone. When the crossbows ran down here earlier... There was a TC going up, there was a whole wood line, and there was the whole main gold. But Vinch remembers about the crossbows, and there's literally nothing here anymore. That's funny. Okay. So yes, what Kasva should do, and this is the whole idea behind this type of push, is you drop a castle on the hill, and then you just treb all that down. I do see some risk for Kasva's position, because when you go Imp... with 3 TCs, one of those TCs is then not creating vills, right? Whereas with Vinch, he's on 3 TCs and his TCs are creating vills. If Vinch can delay and Vinch can snipe the trebs and hold, which he could maybe do with some repairs and whatnot, Vinch will have a greater economy. But I still don't see how Vinchester's ever going to kill these knights. These knights are just too freaking strong. But he could delay. He could deny the castle. He could take out the Scorpions. Honestly, I'd prefer to lose my Scorpions than the villagers here from Kasva. And, okay, never mind. Oh, my God, he's looking for the monks. Into the TC we go. All right. Some people worship at church. Some people worship inside the town center. I didn't realize it was time for church. All right. Well, the monks will be finished in a second once the sermon's concluded. And they'll probably get some upgrades. And now we have the trebs on the way for Kasva. We don't have Cavalier yet, but you have to imagine Cavalier's on the way. And Vinchester is just exposed everywhere. He is exposed everywhere you look. You've got villagers that will die here. You've got villagers that will die here. And that vill lead that he has is simply going to disappear. Again, to add insult to injury, we have Khmer villagers dying to Scorpions. And my message to you, Kasva, is have at it, buddy. Normally, I'd say don't trickle trap. But who cares? Because pikemen running underneath your castle is not an issue. You've got scorpions to deal with that. Giving up map control against Lithuanians is just a no. It's a no-brainer. You don't want to do it. Normally, no-brainer, I think, means that you're supposed to want to do it. But no, you don't want to do that. It's a really bad outlook. And again, what did that 20 vil lead give Vinchester? It didn't give him really much, except for a bunch of different areas for Kasva to kill. This castle will go down. I also noticed that Vinchester, after losing this stone, doesn't really have a lot on stone. He just went over here. So it's going to be a struggle for him to be able to repair that castle for too long. And yeah, the castle fire is going to help out against the light cav. The monks are as well, apparently, which is kind of funny. Vinch is now an imp. Cavalier was very delayed by Kasva. And I think what you want to do at this stage is have half your cav here, but the other half looping. They're still exposed eco on the backside. But at the same time, maybe he feels like he needs to just snowball this victory right here. There's gold, and he's got scorpions, he's got cavalier, he's got the monks. He wants to get some good engagements and some good hits before Halb comes in. It's a very one-sided composition right now for Kasva. He does have the attack. Halb is about to come in. And Kasva's going to take the fight. I don't agree with this fight. I think you back up with everything. You've got the castle there. I would not ever take that fight. Okay, now you've got the castle working, but still the castle doesn't have fletching yet, guys. This is a throw. Just fall back, right? If he can make more cavalier, I'll be fine with it. What's his stable count look like right now? 3. The same 3 stables as before. Kasva's now going to make a switch. He's going to make a switch into skirms. Skirms are good with Lithuanians, but also hussars are good with Khmer. Hussars and halbs could maybe do this for Vinchester. Oh my word. And no fletching, so the skirms won't have upgrades. Now, as I say, that fletching comes in, but the castles go down for Vinch. Guys, Vinchester has a tendency to play on when the going gets rough. And Khmer have a tendency to come back in crazy scenarios because they can just expand their farming eco anywhere. And Kasva has shown us in this series that he can play well, but also has some questionable decisions at times. And that fight, man, that fight was so unnecessary a second ago. Maybe he thought the attack would do it for him. Maybe he thought the Cavalier have a limited time window. He's not repairing this castle either. I think he really needs to repair this castle and take out that Treb. Vinch is going to win. What the? Is anyone else's brain breaking in this series? I should probably stop speaking in absolutes. This is a crazy series. The Cavalier now make it to the stone. Vinch is going to try and drop a castle over here right now. The castle is being repaired. Holy crap, man. He doesn't actually know the 4th relic is there, which is... Okay, he does now. But I think at this point... Wait a second. No Cav Archers? I don't mind Cav Archers here. I don't think it's great, but I don't mind it because if he went Skirm, I think the Light Cav would do well against him. There's just so much craziness happening, and I think both players are struggling to react to it. But the Cav Archers will do well against the Halberdiers, and he's still making Cavalier here, Kasva. Also, Cavalier raiding on this side. Cavalier denying the gold. Cavalier denying the stone. Vinchester's pop 147. Kasva's pop 146. A lot of gold areas that could be raided, though. Vinchester doesn't have a lot on gold. This could be denied. Also, this could be denied. The Cavalier is swinging over here. Now, Kasva does not know about this area, and this is why I'm starting to worry for him. If he loses this corner, he's just wide open to raids. His whole eco is just exposed to raids. He's trying to wall up the other side. At least Vinchester is able to pull some halbs to deal with the Cav over here. Like, he has some defense for the raids. That said, these 2 Cavalier have done work. Oh, man, dude. This is crazy. And Khmer don't have to worry about the KD, right? Because their units aren't in and of themselves that special. It's more so about making a lot of units, spamming a lot of farms, spamming a lot of halbs, spamming a lot of light cav. But Kasva says, I'm not going to make more defensive castles to protect myself because I didn't even notice this is happening. Now he notices it's happening. I'm going to make a forward castle. And I like the forward castle. I just think he's going to be raided to death if he doesn't have a defensive one. This is a ridiculous game. So as he builds this castle, he's actually going to fall back with his cav archers, I think, to focus on this side. And here come the trebs. So he can wheel over there. Vinch still pumping out villagers. He doesn't really have the great side control either, but this is the area of the map we've got to... Like, this is his chance. If Vinch is going to do this somehow, he needs this area to work. And here comes Kasva. He's going to go for this gold, and he can raid with light cav. He has control of the gold now. He's swinging the trebs over. He's cleaned up the halbs. I think Kasva could take this now. It's been crazy. Hopefully he spots this. He is going to get relic number 4, too. Holy moly, what a game. Also, the light cav was repositioned to not be sitting underneath the castle, which I think is so funny. Because there's no murder holes there. So the treb actually had to be packed up by Vinchester. What is your plan? What unit are you going to make if you're Vinch? You can't really tech switch here. I think it has to be halbs. It has to be light cav. He doesn't have any gold. Kasva's got 18 on stone. He can repair this. He can take this out. And Vinch's chance is on the other side, maybe. So he's going to spread out. He's going to make some stables. But yeah, man, he can't take out castles. And he can't run through castles too comfortably either. Treb will go down for Vinch. Villagers just expanding to the corners. Big light cav raid. It does not feel like Vinch has 145 pop. He's been so sneaky about it. But, oh no, he's been spotted. Uh-oh. Oh, wow, he actually got the wall down there. Did you see that? He got the wall down there, but the villager died anyways. I think those vills will die. These vills are all hiding. They're going to go down. And I think as long as Kasva can just stop himself from being raided, Kasva could maybe just get one raid in, and maybe that's going to be the end. But still 55 farmers for Vinch. These guys are going to die, though. Lots of eco going down, and Kasva's going to make another castle. It's so nice that he has ballistics now, that he's getting chemistry now, because it all helps his castles. And cav archers are going to do a pretty good job of chasing this down. It's just not really what you want. I just don't know if there's a way you can lose when you have 4 relics with Lithuanians. You have castles, and the enemy doesn't have a castle to make their own trebs. And also, Vinch doesn't even have gold, guys. So he can't even make rams. I don't know if this relic will really matter, but that relic is there for Kasva as well, as we see the light cav come in. Vinch does not want to give this up here. As I was not expecting Kasva to win today. Both players have kind of played awkwardly and just in a messy fashion, but that's one of the ways that I think Kasva has kept himself in the series and is going to bring himself a lead in this series. Because if you've watched Kasva's rated games, he's never really the cleanest meta player. He tends to be, it tends to thrive in the messy situations. He's a bit like MBL in that sense. And Vinch, I think, has just been, he's had a really poor balance of what you'd need in games as he does take out a treb there. But I'm just waiting for his vill count to drop. He doesn't have anywhere to take res. He's got the back corner. He's got his farms. It's all very exposed. Does anyone know if Lithuanians get heavy cav archer? So I see they get full blacksmith upgrades. I'm guessing they missed the Parthian. But I'm wondering if they get heavy cav archer. If I had to guess, I would say no, as the light cav arrive here. Vinchester! Oh my god, he refuses to quit. They do get heavy CA. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. God, if I'm Kasva, I buy stone and I drop a castle on this hill because this is getting to be annoying at this point. Maybe even stone wallet, truthfully. It might not matter because he can do more damage to Vinchester's eco than Vinchester can do to his eco because his CA just cannot be killed right now. But still, I would probably say, yeah, buy stone, drop a castle, and oh, he's going to go back corner. Holy cow, okay. And look, Vinchester's even back there. Vinchester's finding all the farms. But again, how do you stop this? I don't think you stop it with just a spam of Light Cav. I don't think you stop it with a spam of Halbs. The CA just very hard to kill. And Vinch calls the GG. Kasva did such an excellent job of punishing him. That was amazing. Like, think back to early Castle Age. Think back to how it was played. Everything looked really good for Vinch. But I did say, with the faster Castle Age and that early TC, that you need control. Remember that time I mentioned that Vinchester could have created a few scouts to patrol the relics? Remember when the third TC came up, what he was doing? He got iron casting for his 10 knights. He could have created more knights. He could have created more monks. He stopped monk production. He stopped knight production. And Kasva was all-inning him, which was the perfect play. And it was also the perfect transition into eco after the fact. Kasva realized that he had killed enough villagers, and then he added the TCs. And after Vinch had fallen apart and dropped a castle to just keep himself in the game, Kasva dropped his own castle, which led to trebbing down all the castles, and then the rest is history. Very good play from Kasva. I just can't get over the fact that at one point he had 35 vills on gold, and he had 5 on wood. Like, he fixed it soon after that, but that just tells you how many monks and how many knights he was making that game. Excuse me. Apparently, I'm allergic to people overbooming. More wood, more gold, more stone in that game. Vinch did have the food, but the food didn't really do too much for him. And Vinchester is 1 loss away from being out of King of the Desert. This is going to be a long day because I thought this series was going to be quick. I know Hera Jordan should be solid, and I know Viper MBL should be solid. This is going to be a really, really long day. Let's do this. Someone asked, is Kasva on Facebook? No, Kasva is a Turkish player, and I think FB stands for Fenerbahce. Forgive my pronunciation. It's like Fenerbahce or something. Fenerbahce. It's a very prominent Turkish sports team, and I think they have an esports team as well. He's constantly talking about it on Twitter, so I think that does not stand for Facebook. There's no Facebook esports team, as far as I'm aware of. Okay, Vinchester is playing as the Berbers, and then we have Kasva playing as the Japanese. My issue with this Civ matchup for Kasva is he's not a player who snowballs victories in feudal. And I think that's what Japanese normally tend to do. All their really strong bonuses can play out in Dark Age and feudal. Cheap mining camps, cheap mills, cheap lumber camps, faster attacking men-at-arms. With that wood savings, you have the range out very quickly. So, like, that style is not a Kasva style. However, with that said, he's winning 2-1. Oh, shoot. Sorry. He's winning 2-1 against Vinch. So, clearly something's working for him here. So it has always stemmed back to Castle Age for him. Now, in the Castle Age, Berbers have the very cheap knights. Berbers also have camel archers, which I think can be insane in the matchup. But camel archers are a unique unit. You need a castle for that, so that's going to be tricky. And Vinchester just going to stay at home for now. Push in some ostrich, but for the first time this weekend, one of my predictions has been shattered. I said that I thought that Vinchester would win 3-1. So Kasva's broken the streak, man. How dare he? It sounds German. Yeah, it does maybe sound German, but it's not German. It's Turkish. I think there's like 2 or 3 really good sports teams, like football teams in Turkey. I think there's Galatasaray. I think there's Fenerbahce. Sorry, I can't say the names. And then I think there's one more. But anyways, you know, Kasva being Turkish and them having an esports team, I think he's all about it. So good for him. Good for him. Cody, if you want the gaming tag to work, you have to go to the bottom of the chat and you have to click the little image and it'll let you type with the gamer tag there. Aha, there's 3. See, I know stuff. Someone gave me a really hard time in a YouTube comment, and I'm probably past the point where I should read YouTube comments all the time. But they were like, God, how does T90 not know what was it? Michelin. The whole Michelin thing, if you guys remember that. How does he not know how Michelin started? And then someone was like, T90 doesn't know anything about life unless it's AoE 2. And I was like, that's so unfair. That's so unfair. Now, if you could add 2 other categories and then it's fair. Like, I know a lot about Age of Empires. I do a pretty good job with sports. And then... okay, yeah, just honestly Age of Empires and sports. Anything else, I never do anything else, so I just don't have any life experiences in those areas. All right, there's the barracks for Kasva. Video producing? Not really. You'd be surprised. I don't really do any of my own editing nowadays. I did used to make my own YouTube thumbnails. And I would do that in Paint. So I just I do that in Paint and I would just drag any random Googled images onto the thumbnail. I would download it and I would upload it. So not really. Anyways, there's the barracks for Kasva. He stayed at home an awful long time here. As you can see, he did not scout where the enemy is yet, and this is going to be man-at-arms for him. All right. Just trying to be supportive here. I'm sorry. I appreciate you're trying to be supportive. I appreciate you're trying to be supportive. I literally told off a guy who's trying to make me look better. I didn't mean to tell you off in a rude way, okay? just saying people kind of have a point. Just because you have a point about something doesn't mean you should say it. It's hurtful, okay? And yes, I do know how to crash bicycles. I know how to grab the bicycle brake at a random time while going 20 miles an hour for no reason. My left hand literally just boycotted against the rest of my body in the middle of a perfectly good road with no bumps, and I flew over the handlebars. And I still have a knee injury from that. It sucks. So anyways, Vinchester, in case you haven't picked up on it, Vinchester is going to play defensive here. He knows he can't compete with the faster attacking man-at-arms. He knows the man-at-arms are coming. So he's going to play into an archer range here. He's going to add the barracks and very creative walls. And as long as he gets the palisade down here, I will like this. He needs the palisade on the gold. The palisades here are good, and the palisades here are good. Unless he's missing something. There's actually a slight chance he might overchop this tree, so we have to keep an eye on that. But well played, Vinchester. I really like this opening, and I think standard archer opening is a little underrated in this tourney, depending on the maps and the civ matchups. Because the only weakness of this is that they're going to get their archers out a little faster than you, but typically it's at around the same time. There's the range, and then here's the range, and oh, Kasva blocking the range foundation. What a beast. That's funny. Now, with Japanese, you can melt palisades, and this is where it gets dicey, right? It's a risky opening, but if you get away with it, it's strong. If there's a hole or anything, and God, the tree. Now, players know this. Kasva will show up, and he'll attack the palisade. And unfortunately for him, that villager is the one repairing. But that tree is almost down, and I believe there will be a... Wait a second. Oh, there's no hole behind it. Okay, that's funny. So there's no hole. Archer will come over, and Archer should be running across the map soon for Kasva. Now, it's not the end of the world for Kasva. Yes, you're kind of countered, but you forced a lot of walls. You haven't had to invest into that. And you're forcing reactions, and there's no real way for the enemy to counter you. So that's kind of the bad thing about this style of opening. It's just, it's very defensive. But anyways, here comes the first Archer. Here comes Kasva. What I'd like to see from Kasva... Yeah, double range! Outproduce him now. Kasva's not the type of player to go for a bit of military and then just macro his way to Castle Age. Vinch is that type of player. I really like the idea of going double archer range. And now Vinchester can't scout it. So I'd say the meta is one range, one blacksmith, go for archers and get fletching. What we're going to see from Kasva is we're going to see, in theory, more army production. And then he's going to delay fletching and then have more military. In theory. Now he's getting fletching. Plus the men-at-arms are still there, which kind of... It discourages Vinchester from making any skirms. Not really, but just a little bit. Sorry, just fixing my mic here. What I'm curious about is if Vinchester's going to send 3 villagers to take an ostrich. Wait for it. Ready? He's going to garrison. He's going to take the ostrich. Okay, Leary would do it. Leary would take the ostrich. He would take the ostrich with the fast vills. Instead, he's worried. He doesn't know if the army's coming in again. He doesn't know what's out there. He's going to play very defensive. Weird to me he's got his army here, but I guess he's thinking it'd be a good idea for Kasva to sneak around here. And 1 minute of idle TC time for Kasva. Woof. That is a lot. He does have fletching. He does have more army, but not significantly more. He also is not keeping his army queued all the time. Okay, there we go. See the food count for Vinch? He's got plenty of farms. He's finishing his berries. He's gone one range military. One range military does this. It leads to castle age time of maybe like 20 or 21 minutes, depending on what happens. However, the play from Kasva can punish this. Vinchester knows how important this hill is. And let's see if Kasva just goes in for the fight. Oh my god! Oh, this is huge. Okay, if he wasn't Berbers, Vinchester would be so dead here. But he is Burbs, so he gets to run away. They're so fast. Let's see if he loses a Vil here. Honestly, I don't know if he'll lose a Vil. Berbers are so insane with this. Oh my god, he doesn't lose a villager. So it actually gives Vinchester a chance to recover, but it's still not great. Okay, now he's going to lose a Vil. That was a mistake. He kind of needs to send his villagers over to this wood line, and Kasva needs to get more military forward. Kasva keeping the skirms on the front to focus down the archers, which I think is a great decision. And look at the micro with that as he harasses the wood line. Vinchester recovers with the micro, and this is some micro-intensive stuff here, guys. But where is the army for Kasva? He's sitting at home! I think he's expecting a counterattack. If he would have more units here, he'd be better off, I think. We'll see, though. He did kill the Vil at least. Obviously, he had that idle time. In the end, though, he gets forced away, and he can't overwhelm with the army numbers. This army, if it was forward, would have snowballed that to a potential victory, though I think it would have been close. Walls are down. Good for Vinch. He's expanding his farm eco. He's right back to his wood line. And Vinchester has the advantage now. Remember I mentioned it. I just don't think the whole fast feudal rushing type of style is really Kasva's thing. Kasva's all about castle age. So with that said, I think it was a good decision from Vinchester to play up with a build order that kind of takes you towards a faster castle age. I'd love to see a wall here, by the way. Eventual wall here and here would be so nice. Oh god, now Kasva's going to sneak out. Dude, Kasva confuses me even when I cast him. When I play with him, he's always one of the most confusing players to play against. But now he's going to sneak his army, which is just like super late. Vinchester should have been expecting the army 3 minutes ago. And there might be an overchop back here by the time those archers loop around. We'll see what Kasva can find. Kasva defends himself. Kasva will have good army count, and Kasva's going to use his market. He's going to buy and sell res, and he's going to click up to castle here. Again, in Kasva's mind, he's got to snowball this victory in Castle Age, and he definitely does now because I think Berbers are in the stronger position in Castle Age in this matchup. Both civs get good crossbow upgrades, so both civs can do that. Just Berbers have cheap knights to switch into, and Berbers actually have the better economy because Berbers have faster villagers, and that helps with the efficiency. Army count's very similar, though. And it's very possible that would change. Good, nice micro there from Vinch. He's going to lose this archer, though. Yep, he's going to lose that archer. Well played, Kasva. Kasva now diving here. And wait a second, Vinchester, you've got to be careful with your numbers here, buddy. Remember, he was later to the second range, and he moved out against higher numbers, and now he's down to 5 military. Granted, he will make more. It looks to me like he wants to open up with skirmishers. Position where maybe Kasva will be tempted to make some knights, or maybe Kasva will go forward for some siege. Kasva's definitely not planning on letting this game go late. So Vinch is up about 15 seconds faster, which is about the time difference between crossbow and elite skirm. I always forget. I think elite skirm is 50 seconds, and I think crossbow is 30. Or maybe it's like 45 and 25. I don't know. I'm just not convinced with the army numbers for Vinchester. Is he going to go Genitors? Go Genitors. Okay, he just clicked crossbow for literally 2 archers. To be fair, though, he does at least have the archers here. Okay, elite skirm's on the way. Crossbow's on the way. Like I said, pretty even with the army upgrades. And the lion is attacking the skirm. Well, that's not good for Mr. Skirmisher there. And here comes Kasva, and I think we need to see a panic TC for Vinch. Yeah, get a TC down here. But will it be in time? Will he have the skirms here to defend? I think he can buy himself time. He'll build the house, and then when Kasva sees it, he'll dodge. Yep. Good stuff. Very good stuff from Vinch. That's perfect. That was just perfect. TC is now up, so he can gain a Vil lead, and he is now defended so far from the crossbows. Now, what Kasva likes to do is he likes to buy back his stone. So I think if Kasva wants to boom, he still could. Kasva will probably buy back 100 stone and maybe even 100 wood in a second and drop a TC, but his base is just so bad for that. I don't know where you drop the TC. Here? You can't town center your gold. Good micro from Kasva, though. Great military control, and we saw what that did in the previous game. The thing that's very important about skirmishers is you need armor, right? So I'm going to just talk about the stats because this is consistent throughout Feudal Age and Castle Age. An archer with fletching does 5 damage. It's 4+1, okay? A standard skirm has 3 pierce armor. If you get armor, though, you have 4 pierce armor, which means their strongest attack does 1 damage to you. That's why armor is good in Feudal. An elite skirm with the Feudal armor is sitting here with 5 pierce armor. Crossbow does 7 damage. So the crossbows are doing 2 damage a hit right now. The way to change that is to get armor, and then if you get full armor, then they're doing 1 damage a hit. And that's what's difficult about skirm opening, because you need elite skirm, you need the attack, and you need the armor for these things to be really successful. That's why skirm, typically if you're going to go into skirms, you need to have a bit of a lead in the game. Otherwise, this is going to happen. By the way, speaking of economy, which we haven't touched on in a bit, Kasva needs some important eco upgrades here. He did buy the stone too, but he doesn't know where to TC right now. Vinch went double gate here, expecting that there would be pressure at some point. And wow, it's like Kasva's listening. Okay, eco upgrades on the way. Kasva behind in Vils. And Vinchester's still buying himself some time. He did just lose a Vil, but Kasva's now getting the armor, Vinch is now getting the armor, excuse me. But now he's kind of lacking the numbers. That's the next problem, is he's lacking the numbers. So, as he's going for a 3rd town center, this is just so consistent with one of those earlier games. And here come the skirms. Okay, sneaky move. Kasva does have siege coming forward, though. I think Kasva has played everything really well. I think he's going to have some problems, though, if he can't consistently make siege on the front. Great micro from Vinch. In an ideal world, the siege... Oh, my God! Okay, 3 mangonels running forward. Holy crap. I wasn't expecting that. I thought he'd have 1. But yeah, the thing is, typically you see the siege workshop on the front, so you can just consistently reinforce. But this is going to freak Vinch out, man. Vinch is just now making his own siege workshop. Vinchester could lose so much here. He can't take his stone. He can't take his gold. Oh, but he is going to counterattack. The ranges will probably go down. The pressure's going to be on here. And here comes the counterattack from Vinch. Again, we talked about it in the previous game, how much he loves to do this, guys. He likes to boom and sneak armies. But look at Kasva's TC. Perfect. Still, damage could be done, but he's got the TC on the other side of the wood line, so it cannot be harassed. And say goodbye to range number 1. So basically, it's just defensive mangonels, 1 tiny army, and villagers for Vinch, which is not a great sign. Especially when he can't get stone to make a castle to stop all this. He basically needs very good mangonel micro. I love this play from Kasva. Yet again, I think Vinchester's trying to be too cute with small armies, and he's giving up control to go to the town centers. Oh, man, that mangonel was not on the hill. So there's 1 hit for Vinchester. And here goes Vinchester with his army. He remembers there being a wood line here, so he's going to show up. That will actually be annoying for Kasva. There's a very good chance that as Kasva reacts to this, he gets rocked on the front. Ready for this? Watch this. This could be huge. He reacts on the front. He waits for it. Oh! I knew it! Oh my God! Vinchester with the lead now. What a play! Oh, I love it. I love it. That was so good. And he deleted as well. When you're firing uphill, a direct shot on an enemy mangonel will not take out the mangonel because they take less damage while on top of the hill. But if you delete it, the game forgets there was a hill disadvantage or a hill advantage, depending on how you look at it, and it does normal damage, thus giving him the 2 kills there. That was sick. And it's why counterattacking like this works so well. They react to you at home, you defend at home, and now Vinchester can breathe again. And to make matters even worse, this mangonel had to roll home. So that was just the worst possible scenario for Kasva. Vinch doesn't have the best eco upgrades. Vinch also won't be able to really do too much with the next attack. But what he does have is time. And that time is throughout the whole defense there, he's been on stone. That time is going to be enough for him to drop a castle. Here he comes. It's so sad to me that Kasva's had to roll all the way forward and all the way home with mangonels. He did take out some ranges, but I mean, that was it. He didn't kill many vills in this game. Vinchester might go camel archers here. Wait, Kasva's imping? What? Wow, this is a very fragile imp. He's got 2 town centers. He puts 1,000 food and 800 gold into imp. When you do this, when you go fast imp, when you go with low eco, you need this army to kill a lot of stuff. Because you're going to consistently fall behind in vills. You need this army to do something for you. And I just don't see the avenue in which that can happen. Anytime you show up to a wood line, the vills can just relocate. If you show up to the front, there's a castle there. Japanese also do not get bombard cannon. So you can't just go arbalest and chemistry and make bombard cannons to push down the castle. You need a castle of your own. He doesn't have the eco for that. He's not on stone. I think that Kasva is... I think that Kasva fell way behind after the counter from Vinch and the defense from Vinch, and he's going to try what he thinks is his only option. I don't mind the attempt. I just don't think it has a chance at working. Crazy. Arism, what's up? He says, how can I get notifications on the Facebook app? If you type !, notify, if you haven't already, Artism, it should give you a notification. There's other ways to do it too, like you can follow the page and go to the settings and blah, 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 blah. But your best bet is try typing ! Notify in chat. It's a little weird, but it is a way that will help you get notifications. Also, I would say join the Discord if you're not already in the Discord. And then when you're in the Discord, you can go to the rules channel and react to that little message in there. That'll actually give you Discord notifications every time I'm live as well. Truthfully, Twitch and Facebook are pretty bad with live notifications. I remember Twitch having issues with it all the time too. So I would say, if you really want to know, Discord's the way to do it too. I'm probably going to make a video on that. That way people know, and just a bunch of other things like people want to know, like how can we support you in different ways that we want to. So Kasva can afford ARB, but he is getting Bracer and he is getting Chem. Don't run underneath the TC. Don't run. Oh my God. Just resign. Literally just forget about this game and go game 5. Oh my God. I saw that coming, guys. He clicked his army over here, but the mangonel was attacking the TC and he went right into the shot. Oh, jeez. See, he can take out mangonels with these crossbows now, but he can't run into rocks and be okay. Vinch is on the way to imp. Vinch has a 30 vill lead. Vinch has awesome castle spots. Vinch's economy is far superior. He could go for elite skirms. He could just counter this, and there's no real way for Kasva to push the castles, and you just got to expect that Vinchester's going to be able to do more in the next age. Man, Kasva, dude. I'm telling you, like, the way Kasva plays, the whole... I guess he was going all in Castle Age, but he feels like a very strong knight player, you know? And all the technical abilities you need with the crossbow play and the fast follow-ups and the quick little micro, it just doesn't suit him as much as it might suit Vinch. I'm trying to think about the civs for Kasva, but I forget what he has, but I know he has Kumans and one other civ. And I would be shocked if we don't see Kumans and some very greedy play from Kasva in Game 5. If it goes there. If it goes there. Because we have seen players throw leads in this series. Kaz was going to have to loop the long way around this way because he knows there's a castle. And then he's got to go the long way around this way because he knows there's a castle. Just to get a little bit of damage in. Oh, he's got Celts as well. But I think Vinch has Mongols on the card, so I think I would never, ever, ever go Celts against Mongols. I think we're going to see Cumans. And we'll see a pretty crazy game 5. Little wasteful here if you're Vinchester, because you don't really need to do this, right? Don't need to do that at all. But I guess Kasva didn't know about this castle, and he's going to find out the hard way. Vinchester also has the tower over here. He'll probably just swing a few skirms over, clear that up. Also, I've got a skirm army raiding a wood line. Yeah, normally you could go samurai, you could go light cav, you could do other things with Japanese, but not with 77 builds. Not with 21 on food. Not without a castle. So, I think Vinch, even adding the tower is like a little overkill. You literally just need to remember you have skirms here, but he just wants to make sure. Better safe than sorry. He's loved his defensive towers in this series. There's been no shortage of offensive towers either. If you remember game 2 or game 1, I forget. Okay. Well, there you go, Arbalest. Congratulations. Meanwhile, villagers are building a town center next to giant skirm bolts. Rip. And you know what's been interesting about this series is I've been able to call a lot of really specific stuff that would happen. Like the Mangonel, and honestly, it's all mistakes. Like the moment where Kasva got rocked on the front as well. And I think the reason for that is I played the game at a high level enough to make those mistakes at least like 3 dozen times at this point in my career. So I kind of familiar with how those aspects play out. I feel like I've got to predict the good stuff, but I guess depending on how you look at it, it was good for Vinchester this game. I'm happy with those callouts. It makes it really fun to cast and try and call certain things out. Like I'm going to predict that Kasva's going to GG after Vinchester actually sends his army forward. This is over. Kasva's going to fight. He's continuing to try, but this is over, man. Bombard cannon rolling forward. Yeah, I think it's just a bad matchup for Japanese if they don't do damage early feudal, and Kasva didn't have his follow-up army, man. He should have followed up with his army, and that was his opportunity. But it's really, you know the matchup isn't good for you if you don't follow up with one army in feudal, and then suddenly I'm saying that, right? I think other players might have played it a little bit differently, but... And obviously you could have had more success in early Castle Age, too. I think Vinch knows that he's won this game because he just researched siege engineers for 1 bombard cannon. I have this mod, by the way, that makes them a little golden. Looks nice. I don't mind it. I removed all the other graphic mods except that. Here comes Kasva trying to push up the hill. He sees another castle's going up. That's castle number 4 for Vinch. Vinchester, didn't your mom tell you that it's only fair to share? When you make this many castles, you can't just have all the castles for yourself. Come on, Vinchester. What's the deal? Be nice. Share some castles. Oh, there we go. Kasva's got a castle. We have been live for 5 hours. And we have not even concluded the second best of 5 yet. This could easily be a 10-hour day. I was expecting it to maybe be 9 hours. Yesterday was 9 hours. It was a long day. We didn't have a single best of 5 B3O yesterday. The first best of 5 today went to 5 games. And now we have this best of 5 going to 5 games. I don't think that Hera, Jordan, and Viper MBL will go to 5 games. I have 2 3-1s happening there with my predictions, but this has certainly given us a lot of Age of Empires today. And holy stars from Brooke. Yo, Brooke, thank you for the stars. Also, Moritz, thanks for the new sub. Thanks, guys. Stars is the way to donate on this platform for people who are new from Twitch here today. Probably a lot of you. A lot of people showed up for this. This is pretty sick stuff. Bombard cannons should be able to take out skirms and arbs. Still, Vinchester just kind of playing with his food right now. It's not the most aggressive game from him. But yeah, there we go. GG. He had 140 villagers. He had skirms to counter the army. He had bombard cannons. He could do anything he wanted. Ladies and gents, we have a game 5 coming up. Poof. And immediately I'll look to the statistics. You can see why I thought Vinchester would win that game. So many resources. And holy stars as well. We have, what? 18,500 stars? That is a lot of stars. That is $180 from Brooke. Thank you. Holy crap. Now I'm distracted. Now I can't finish this. And game 5 is going to start. Brooke, what have you done? What have you done? All right, hold on. I am thankful, but I'm not thankful enough to talk about it right now because we have a game 5. I think it will be Mongols versus Cumans. Let me look. Again, I am thankful, but it's Mongols versus Celts? Guys, we have a player named Huang in our community who has played now over 10,000 games, mainly with one civilization, okay? And what civilization does he hate the most? His name is Huang, by the way. If you haven't heard of Huang, you should probably look for The Legend of Huang on YouTube because it's freaking hilarious. The guy's insane. I need to make more videos about him. The civ that Huang hates the most is the Mongols because the Mongols have a hunt bonus, so they can go fast feudal to rush the Celts. They also have the Mangadai, which is the ultimate Celt killer because the Mangadai has a bonus against that strong Celt siege. Kasva had options here. If you look at his draft, there were 2 civilizations remaining for both. I'm not even going to cross off the civs they just played with. So Mongols, Sicilians for Vinch, and then Celts, Cumans for Kasva. I'd love to be proven wrong. I really don't like the Celts pick because I think Vinch always will go Mongols. I would prefer he go Cumans, but he's chosen. He is chosen. Yes, that is the highest donation I've received on Facebook. That is by far the most. And no message either. There's no message with it. If you want to say something in chat, maybe feel free, but thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, 1 star is 1 cent. It's just like on Twitch where like 100 bits was $1, or 500 bits is $5, right? That's a lot of salmon, man. That's a lot of salmon. Thank you. Also, was there like a chat pop-up? Was there a chat animation? Because on my screen, there was this big, like, little flurry. I guess it was supposed to be like a shooting star or something. That doesn't happen with the other star donations. I'd never seen that before. I don't know if we like that or if we don't like that, if I should remove that. Okay, there was. Okay, I saw something too. That scared me. Okay. I'll have to maybe try and pay attention, see what that animation is, and see if I think that's too much and if I can remove that. I know Twitch had some stuff like that. Okay, this is for all the marbles. And when I say all the marbles, this is to stay in King of the Desert, all right? It's a very big moment for both players. We have Kasva in the red playing as the Celts. The big thing is, will the Mongols be able to get all their food in? And will the Mongols be able to lame? Okay? So, Vinch is scouting the back of his base first. You do see a lot of players with Mongols with the scouting bonus. You can see that vision. Try and steal some resources. But he's not going to do that. He's going to stay home. He's going to try and push in his resources. Now look at this from Kasva. He knows the danger's near. He knows that Mongols could be running over to try and steal his hunt. So he's done the right thing. So happy to see this. He's going to bring in the rhino. So now there's only 1 rhino that could be stolen. And it's more towards the back side. Whew! Now, Celts have very fast-moving infantry starting in Feudal Age. Celts also have very strong siege. And Kasva can play like Huang if he wants to. I have to reference Huang because Huang is the best Celts player in the game. He only plays Celts. In fact, one of his accounts is literally named Celts. And Huang is all about going fast castle in some way, shape, or form. He tends to go for a Drusher Man-at-Arms. And then he just says, forget farms. He gets a market down and he just buys his res. Buys his res to go castle. And the famous saying is Celt ETC. And if you don't know the story, I'll tell the story again because I think it's freaking hilarious. Huang doesn't have the best of English, okay? And so one day I was watching Huang play. This was 2 years ago. And he had just started to pick Celts. Right when DE came out, he started to pick Celts all the time. And I said, Huang, why Celts? And in all caps, he said, Celts eat TC. That's all I said. Celt eat TC. Which in his mind is the siege is really strong. And for that reason, I pick them. Because I can eat the town center or destroy the town center. Here's Kasva, by the way. Kasva trying to steal these goats. He's being super annoying. But I think ultimately he just wants to weaken the scout. Which he is doing right now. Yeah, and Kasva's actually winning the scout war ever so slightly. But getting some good hits in there is Kasva. As what the? More stars. What the crap is this? Even more stars. I don't know what's happening. It's very awkward for me when someone donates stars and doesn't even send me a message. Because it's already awkward. Because I'm already thankful. And then I'm like, well, I have nothing to respond to. So thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So someone just said instead of Brook, it is broke. That's funny. I hope not. I hope not. I hope if that's happening, that's not the case. We have Kasva laming the Mongols, which is not what I was expecting to see in this game. On the other side, we've got Kasva with 4 on wood. And then you've got the forward berries. And with the forward berries, you're probably going to see a forward barracks on the hill. And I expect a lot of feudal age aggression. For Vinchester, he's going to rush to feudal. And there is a weird argument to go into archers here. Remember how he played the previous game? He expected men-at-arms from Japanese. That's almost always what Japanese do. You almost always see men-at-arms from Celts as well. Now, I would like it a little less. Because I think the way Celts play out, Celts can actually do more with their men-at-arms because their men-at-arms will be faster. Also, because of the Celt wood chopping bonus, they just bring in resources faster to get, more archers and skirms up to follow that up. So that's a little tricky, but I don't think I'd necessarily mind an archer opening from Vinch. But he's going up so fast, I'd be very surprised if he does that. Instead, it seems like this is going to be some type of a scout play, which is also fine with the Mongols. As this ostrich is not cooperating. Oh, God, dude. No, don't do that. All right. T90, would it be possible to change Vinch to blue? Minimap is a little hard to see. I normally would say yes, but I've done with these colors the whole series. And I did, at the start of the series, I kind of asked everyone what they thought, and I felt like these color schemes were good. So in the future, I will make sure to maybe avoid this color scheme. But I think this is at least fine for the majority of people. So I hear you, and normally I'd compromise for you. But when we started the series, we kept it as this. So I'm going to have to commit to this. This is the final game. Typically, I do red and blue. But do you want to see what the colors they actually chose? This is what the colors they chose. Like, what? This is so bad looking. Anyways, let's not confuse you too much. So, 3 villagers on gold for Kasva. He's going to be making those militia now. He's kind of got this guy just chilling out behind the mill. And no surprises for Vinchester. Vinchesters will see this. And Vinchester will now know this is going to be man-at-arm play. There's the stable. This is one of the fastest scout rushes you can do in the game because of all that hunt. That said, Vinchester will need farms because Vinchester doesn't have any more food underneath the TC now. He's about to run out of the goat. Did he miss out on goats or something? Oh, yeah, we literally watched it. I'm sorry. He missed out on 2 goats, and I showed you that. Brooke distracted me. Okay. To some people answering questions in chat about the new platform, I just want to say thanks. I'm going to get to some of those questions too, but right now, man, Game 5, Vinchester hoping to defend from these very speedy man-at-arms. Look at him go. Now, Kasva hasn't scouted the backside. He doesn't know if that's open or not, and he's probably hoping it is. He's clicked back there, and if your unit paths around there, that'll tell you it's open. So he'll loop around that direction. And for Vinchester, if he's able to get 5 scouts before any spears arrive, and 4 you could maybe do it with as well, you could actually clear this. We do see a range at home for Kasva. We'll probably see a spearman as well, but I mean, if the archer and spearman was with this army, it'd be strong. But when it's apart from this army, it's not. And look at Vinch. He knows he can fight it. He's going to pull the vills to fight it as well. Villagers helping might just tip this over his way. That's a pretty good fight for Vinch. I like that fight. Especially if he micros away the weak scout, as he's doing there. I still think that's a fine fight for Vinchester. It's not the worst fight for Kasva, but I think it's a fine fight for Vinch because that type of a build can really snowball on you quickly. All right, so with the 2 spearmen and the archer, here comes Kasva to try and harass, and the scouts cannot stop that. But you see an archery range for Vinch, so he's going to probably go into something like skirmishers and archers of his own. And he's also making an outpost here. This is really good from Vinchester. He's not trying to play full wall here. He's trying to play aggressive. He doesn't want to get caught out. Placing a little outpost is so smart. And 1 archer really isn't going to do much. I personally would have preferred to see 2. Oh, okay. Well, now we've got more. I was going to say 2 archers with this spearman, because with 2 archers, you could probably threaten a villager. Oh, no. There's no spearman at home, and there's 3 spearmen waltzing forward. These scouts that just took that amazing fight at home go into Kasva's woodline. That will be a villager saved. Well played, Kasva, but another scout runs through. Uh-oh. Okay, surely he's not going to save this one. And Vinchester just being aggressive, and this is the power of scouts, guys. At the same time, Vinch does have to defend over here, but he's not too worried about the spearmen long term. He's more worried about the archers, and he can take all this out with skirms now. Vinchester in the perfect position. He does take a hit over here, but straight skirmisher would honestly counter everything that Kaz was making. The men-at-arms didn't do enough damage. The archers didn't do any damage. The spearmen are a waste. They were actually out of position. And so now Kasva's desperate, and Kasva's going to go for a stable. I like this move. He needs something to counter skirms. He needs to still make archers here. He needs to have offensive presence. It's a tricky game, though, for him. I think that this is perfect for Vinchester. And again, I mentioned, Mongols are just insane against Celts. You know, if you pick Cumans instead, which was available, then you could at least go for the second TC. You could go for cheaper military buildings. There's a lot of different things you can do, but I'm looking at Celts now, and everything the Celts are capable of has kind of been stopped by the Mongols. It doesn't help Kasva to talk about this now or even think about this now, but that's my problem. If I play in a tourney and I'm in Kasva's position, I'm like, damn it, I knew I should have picked the Cumans. And I don't focus on the actual game at hand here. Now, I think Vinchester should expect the scouts. That's the only natural switch for Kasva now. I think he should expect that, and you're going to see him probably mix in archers, because archers are going to be better against the scouts. Could maybe see him make an extra scout or 2. I think it's a little risky to only stick with 3 scouts. But everyone tries to toe the line and just make it to the castle age as soon as possible. Oh my god, this is so sick. Check this out. Okay. I think 3 scouts can defend all of this, and Kasva hasn't shown the stable yet. Okay, now Vinch sees it. So Vinch should know something's up, but Vinch doesn't have anything at home. And guys, he does not have anything to stop archers or scouts. This is so risky for Vinch. It's good play. Everything he's done is good play, but I think he's undermade army at home. He has the outpost, so he can now see that the scouts and the archers are coming in. So he knows. And here comes Kasva. Can Kasva deny the tower? I don't think so. I think the tower's perfect. Man, that outpost saved him so much here. Well played, Vinchester. Meanwhile, you see the fight over here. Not a bad fight for Vinchester, actually. All the spearmen go down. The archer's going to go down as well, and the scout numbers aren't here for Kasva. Sick. Very well played from Vinch. Yeah, and now, if you're Kasva, you've spent so much food on scouts, which you needed to get value. And you've cleared up an army that Vinchester doesn't care about anymore. And then, you're kind of stuck against Castle Age. God, that was so good from Vinch. I love this outpost. That outpost saved him so much. Because the reality is, if that tower didn't get down, and if he couldn't prep the house walls like this, he might have died. But now, instead of dying, he's in the driver's seat. Got a stable now for Vinchester as he's on the way up. This is a little greedy. He's trying to get stone because he made the tower and he wants to be able to make a TC. That's a little greedy, if you ask me. Because there is army out there, but Kasva has to see it. And you have Vinchester's going to leave now. Expected. What does Kasva do? God, this eco looks messy. He's probably going to market. He'll probably just try and make a market and then buy resources to go Castle Age. But it has been a back and forth day. I think Vinchester... I don't know. It's weird. I feel like Vinchester has been the slightly better player, but not significantly better. I think Vinchester's made some pretty questionable decisions. I think the decision-making's been better from Kasva. I think the gameplay's been better from Vinch. That's the way I would describe this series. And it looks like we have a pause. I don't know, guys. With Vinchester a minute away from Castle. Okay, Vinchester needed to pause there. I think Kasva needs like 3 vills killed to feel good about this. He gets 1. He can't do too much. Sorry, this is because we're coming back from the pause. He can't do too much because of the TC, the skirms, and the tower, though. And we know Knights are going to be coming out. Knights wreck this army. Knights can run right in here. And here comes the market for Kasva. But this Castle Age time is going to be like 24 minutes. That is the latest Castle Age time we've really seen today. You think the Civ choices are better by Vinch as well? Well, I certainly think picking Celts here was a mistake. Yes, I agree. But I think Vinch's execution was also really, really good here. I just think Kumans would have given Kasva a little bit more of a chance. But this execution from Vinchester was well played. With the defense, with the attacks. Now he also recouped the stone, so he's going to drop a town center. And he knows he's going to clear this. So he's going to go in, pick off the archers with what he can. And he honestly might even be able to just send his knights forward. I think 1 knight here. And then you just send everything else forward. Step Lancers? What the... Holy crap, he's going Step Lancers. Step Lancer hype. So Step Lancers have 9 attack, but they also have 1 range. They can hit from distance. They're worse off against Knights, and they're also worse off against crossbows, but they're cheaper. And Mongol Lancers have extra HP. So I don't know if he's going to make them long-term, but I guess he didn't really have the golds. He wanted to save the gold for Cav Archers. And, oh, God, is this satisfying. Lancers and Cav Archers with Mongols, let's go. There's just something about this, man. Because I want this to be the norm, you know? It's just people are like, oh, I'm going to make a crossbow. I'm going to make a knight. Because I know that works. Take a risk, damn it. Take a risk. No, honestly, you shouldn't take risks if you don't think it's going to work. Don't take my advice in tournaments anyways. But is there not a hole there? It's very possible there's a tree we cannot see. The Cav Archers and the Step Lancers go right into the wood line. If there is a hole, they will just follow them in here, and then we have another group going to the other side. Kasva has no counter to this. He's got nothing. He has 43 vills, but he has no military that can counter this. He's going to go pikemen, and they are speedy pikemen, but pikemen just get ranged by the Cav Archers. And also, Vinch has gone heavy on stone because he knows Mongols destroy everything Celts make if they get to Mangadai. Even using this, the skirms here. Oh, God. Vinch is in cruise control. Look at that. Well done. I always hate this, and we've seen a lot of this where you have to watch this player come to the realization that they're probably going to lose the game. It's kind of where we're at with Kasva right now. Just bought some wood for a siege workshop, but Mangadai counter siege, so if that ever happens, you're kind of screwed. And yeah, this guy feels bad for Kasva. I mean, it was a great achievement for him to be able to even make it into this tourney, like to the deep stages of this tourney. The first person he played against was Viper, and Viper 3-0'd him, which, you know, that doesn't say as much about Kasva. I think that just says everything we already know to be the case about Viper. But today, man, to get so close to beating Vinch is an achievement in some ways, but he would have wanted to close this out. I just think Celts is a big mistake. It is an obvious thing to me that Mongols are always going to have the edge, regardless of how it's played out against Celts. It wasn't just the Civ, it was the execution, but it's easier to execute with Mongols. Vinchester made it look good. 38 to 19 KD. Vinchester stays alive in King of the Desert. And Kasva is out. A great series. an entertaining series. I think a series that might even be one of the better ones of the day, but I can't argue that Kasva deserves to go on. I think Vinchester earned it. And I think that with some of his losses, it was just a mistake that Vinchester made or a weird choice that Vinchester made. Like game 1, Vinchester had a hole in his wall that lost him the game. And then the other game he lost, it was greed, right? Kasva, I think, he had good strategies, but just not in game 5, which sucks. But well played, Kasva, man. It's good to see. Like, this guy's committed a lot of hours into the game over the last year or two. And again, making it to this stage of this tourney is actually one of his best achievements, and he should get some solid prize pool too. So congratulations to him. Really good performances this year.